happening. They're just fucking with us. Hey, there we are. We're live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. With me today is Jim Mint from Mint Collectibles. What's up, Jim?
What up, brother? Sorry, guys. We're late because of me. I swore it was 8 p.m. Mountain Time because that's what I'm on. And then I happened to check Instagram. Luckily, it wasn't like way later. And you were like, yeah, where you at?
Yeah, right. I do appreciate you coming in, Jim. I know we all got busy schedules and life and everything that gets in the way, so I appreciate you.
This is what I do, man. This is what I make time for.
Heck yeah, dude. So first off, that Thanos right there.
Sick,
oh,
right?
My goodness. That thing is massive. How tall is that?
Yeah, so it's 30 inches tall. It's a quarter scale piece, but it's so tall because Thanos is larger than your regular human, you know?
Yeah.
So I actually just reviewed this. That's why it's still here. And I literally just released the video for the members of my channel. I'll probably drop it in a couple days or so. But I kind of build up a little bit of a backlog. You know, I try to knock out a few videos and kind of have something so I can always drop a video every day.
Yeah, that's a smart way to do it. Some of us just like, let's just throw it together and just, hell, put it out right now.
I keep telling myself, like, eventually you're not going to have something. But I don't know. I mean, I've been going strong. Like, I've been doing a video every single day for like over 9 months, like really just by myself. Like I used to have other help prior, but now I've had like maybe 4 videos that weren't mine in 9 months. Like my wife did 3 and my daughter did 1, but otherwise every single day.
That's crazy, man. You pump out content every morning.
Every morning at I guess it's 11 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah. Yeah, every morning I'll get to work and I'll pull up my phone and be like, "Yep, Jim, did another one already."
Oh, reliable.
So you do the back catalog and everything. For that, by the way, your recent statues, that Batman Who Laughs one, holy cow!
That was crazy, man.
That thing is amazing. That thing blew me away.
Yeah.
I'm amazed that you can put out so much content. So you just backlog it. You just get it ready and you just go.
Right? I backlog it. Like I usually have anywhere from like 3 to 7 videos on deck. So then I can kind of chill for a couple of days. Then when I start dwindling low, I'm always thinking of new ideas or trying to have a statue come in or trying to have an omnibus haul. And so it was helpful with new comic book days. I'm like, all right, it's in my mind. I'm like, that takes care of a day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
Sundays we do a live stream and that takes care of a day. So I got to fill otherwise, you know what I'm saying, like 5 days out of the week. And then, yeah, so if I'm getting a little bit low, I'll try to on the weekend knock out like 3 videos on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and just kind of try to make sure like my week is set, you know?
Yeah, that's a good plan because I mean, I've done the thing where there are times here on the channel where I'll have a video every single day. And then there are times where there just won't be a video for like a week until the next comic book review.
My OCD won't allow that shit, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
luckily, I have my hands in a couple of different hobbies, right? Like, you know, statues, omnibus, new weekly comics, and then every now and then it's like a movie review or something comes out, you know, that kind of adds to it. So I got lucky in that sense that I kind of have my hands in a couple things, you know?
Yeah, you always got something working. That way, when there was a stoppage of new comics, it didn't really hinder your channel whatsoever.
And what's funny right now is I have like statue reviews like every day. I think I have like 7 in a row. I just did 3. I have 2 on deck, and I have 2 more I got to do. So I think my channel, like the statue unboxings, is like the bread and butter. That's kind of like the core audience, and those videos always do the best. So I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna maneuver this so I can have boom, 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 mad statue reviews.
Yeah. So you have a lot of that sent to you.
So this one is not even mine. Yeah, that and the Batman Who Laughs. Yeah. Batman Who Laughs was my boy Very Gary. You probably have seen him on the channel.
Yeah.
And
this was that hair on the channel for sure.
Exactly. And then this was the Venomized Beard, who has been following the channel for a long time. And you know, every now and then, I mean, when you see me do a statue review, like 95% of the time it's mine that I bought myself and I own. But I just happen to have that Batman Who Laughs and this one sent to me from friends and, you know, supporters. I'll review it and then I'll ship it to them. So they have it shipped from like Sideshow to me, and then I ship it. I come out of pocket to ship it to them. So it's like it doesn't cost them anything different, but they do allow somebody to open their brand new statue, which is kind of cool of them, you know?
That is cool because that's like the number one reason why I buy stuff is so I can open it, and to take that joy and give it to someone else. That's the highest compliment, Jim.
It is. I mean, they still get to open it, but you're right. It's not fresh from the factory, but we take care of it. I have Fee helps me pack that thing up, and we send it better than the factory send it sometimes.
Oh, I bet, right? Because you care about it.
Yeah, and I always know in my mind if something happens, I got to come out of pocket, no questions asked. Like if I broke this shit, I have to pay for it, and that's totally cool. So I don't want to have to do that. So you know what I'm saying? Like try to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I love the slow rotation too.
It's very calming, right?
Yeah, when you said you were going to put it on the rotator, I thought it was just going to be like, I don't know why. I thought it was just going to keep going like this.
You got to have that slow motion.
Oh, that's nice. Do you ever just sit back and chill, maybe like, kick back with your favorite drink or whatever and just put on the lights, dim them down and just watch something spin on that thing?
I don't do that, but I have come up here and just kind of walked around and gazed around. I don't have the light on. I just have the LEDs on. I just chill. I'll go on the arcade one up and knock out a few rounds of Street Fighter 2 or some shit. But when you say that, I almost feel like guilty. Like I don't chill enough. Like I'm really always freaking on trying to work on something and make something happen,
Yeah, absolutely, man. I've gotten into this thing lately because, during all this shutdown, like we've been working. We've been doing, our thing, doing mail order and subscription service and
that's good, man.
And all that. So we're still doing the grind. But then I'm trying to do more live streams and doing this, and it hit a point where I was like, I got to chill. And so like I schedule an hour out of every day now. It's usually right when I get home, and I just chill out. And I usually listen to some Bob Marley or some Pink Floyd or something like that. And just kind of, the other day I listened to the Blade soundtrack, actually, the first Blade soundtrack.
Yeah.
Kind of chilled out. But
you know what's funny about I think it's the first Blade soundtrack. I'm a huge Bone Thugs and Harmony fan.
Yeah.
And that had a Busy Bone song featuring one of his artists, Mr. Majesty, which you don't know that name unless you're like a hardcore Bone fan. And I remember like it was out of nowhere. Like you remember back in the day, movie soundtracks were like big, like if you had a song on a movie soundtrack, like fucking Kiss from a Rose was on a movie soundtrack. Batman Forever, I think.
Yeah, Batman Forever. And then Batman and Robin had Bone on it.
It was the same one. Whatever it was the same one because it had Look Into My Eyes and Kiss from a Rose because I bought that soundtrack. I was a huge Bone fan. And then I was like, la 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 la. That shit was my jam. Man. I still fucked with that.
Oh man, I have good memories of high school and rolling in. And my buddies, I don't even remember what kind of car it was. I think it was like a Pontiac or something, just rolling in. And he had the subwoofers going on. The 90s. That's that.
Well, I got the subwoofers going right now.
Hell yeah. Well, I don't. I've never had the subwoofers going on or nothing.
Yeah,
but I always take advantage of my friends that do.
Yeah.
And I just like to cruise and ride. But yeah, coming into Lee High School in 1997. Pumping up some Bone Thugs and just having it reverberate throughout the schoolyard like just made me feel like the coolest dude ever.
For sure, man.
No kidding. Do you like what other hip hop do you like? 'Cause I know you're a big Bone fan. Do you like Outkast at all?
Huge Outkast fan, huge Bone fan because I grew up in South Florida, right? So in the early 90s to mid 90s, we were all about New York and West Coast, right? And then Bone came out and they were kind of like West Coast in the Midwest. But we were big, like growing up on Bad Boy, on Biggie, on Death Row, Dr. Dre, Tupac, Snoop, and then Bone. And then when the South movement came, Florida became the South. People don't realize, like South Florida used to act like they were from New York. When I was in middle school, people walking around with goggles on their head, with Timbs. But when like Cash Money came out, when Outkast came out, No Limit, like then we were all about the South. So that was like the hip hop I was into. I was very versatile though. I like a lot of New York rap, but I like down south stuff. 3-6. I like Outkast, stuff like that.
Yeah, you can't top Outkast. I think Outkast is just the best, and of course
they're the best rap duo in my opinion of all time.
Yeah, I mean I think they're slightly better than Kid and Play, but man, Kid
and Play. I mean you got to give props to the old school, but Outkast catalog and their hits and just their albums are just bro.
Dude, I lament every day that they're not together still.
Right? It's like, I think about that often too. Like, why are y'all went diamond? I get it. You guys are rich as fuck, but like, y'all have it in you still. And what's sad is it seems like Big Boy still be making music, but it doesn't really do nothing. But
yeah, it seems like it's Andre.
What made me kind of humbled me a little bit is I saw Andre 3000 had a interview with Rick Rubin, and he was just like, yo, I'm nervous or I'm insecure. Like, he was real as fuck about creating, and it's not that he can just make bomb ass shit whenever he wants. So it was kind of like a little bit eye opening. Like, he's just a regular dude, man, and he's got his own huge shoes to fill.
Yeah.
But Andre 3000, man, he's one of the top like lyricists. People, some people give him props, but he's up there, man.
I love both Big Boy and Andre.
Yeah.
And I always felt that Andre was the more sensitive one, the one that was maybe a little bit more introverted and artistic, and it comes across like Big Boy just wants to, do work and make money.
Yeah.
He wants to put out his work, because not moving is not living. Not doing what you're doing is, and Andre, like, I remember when they split for that Love Below speaker box, and I was like, man, both those albums are great. But I thought like Love Below is like next level something else.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell that is. But everybody was like, no, they're breaking up now. You can tell. And I was like, no, they're not going to break up. They're not going to break up.
And it's not like break up. It's kind of like, yo, we did our thing. We're rich. Andre's kind of like, I'm not feeling the artistic side of it. You know what I mean? And that seems to be more important to him, right?
Yeah, and at least they didn't continue on uninspired making crappy albums.
Right. You know what's funny? A lot of people say, like, I see memes and stuff like, imagine if Tupac and Biggie were still alive. But I'm like, damn, but what if they would have fell off, man? Like,
yeah, right. Because how many times have we seen that in artists we like, where you're just like,
I love Bone Thugs and Harmony. I still jam their shit like daily, but it's not the same as they were in 1995, 1997. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but yeah.
Anyway. You can't capture that magic,
It's hard,
and it's great it's great because Outkast, every single album you pick is going to be great, but they all have their own different tone and vibe. You get a totally different tone from AT-Aliens as you do Stankonia.
Yeah, as they start getting more experimental, and you mentioned Andre being like sensitive, but like he was authentic, and he was himself, and it worked, and it resonated with people, and people fucked with him, and he wasn't trying to be cool or trying to be hard. You know what I mean? So you got to respect that, man, and he's talented as hell.
Yeah, he super is. He was always my favorite, just because he'd wear the football pads, he would wear the crazy outfits, and he just had such a crazy eccentric personality. And Big Boy had a really fast flow, but Andre would do like psychedelic lyrics sometimes.
He would have poetry, man. My wife's a big fan of Outkast too, and we'll kick each other lines just fucking around, but he's just got like poetry type of shit, man.
Yeah, it's great. I love that song they did with Erykah Badu on Stankonia. What was it? Humble Mumble or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That stuff's good. And I like it when he started doing the bluesy stuff in Idlewild. I was down with that. I
wasn't as much of a fan as that. I think like I really loved Stankonia. Stankonia was like my high school album, and then I really liked when they came out with the greatest hits, and they had The Whole Wide World was like the bonus track or the extra new song. Then they had Speaker Box Love Below. I really liked that. But then, I don't know. I think that was about it for me, man. I was kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, Idlewild was weird because they did like two songs together, but you could tell they weren't really together.
And it was like a theme album. I don't really like that. I'm not really into theme albums.
Did you ever watch the movie?
No,
Idlewild?
I don't think so. I think I might have seen some of it, but I'm not familiar with it.
I really like the movie. I couldn't tell you it's a good movie, but I do like it for some reason. So. Cool. Having watched the movie, I think the album, because it's kind of a soundtrack to the movie a little bit,
right?
But it kind of works that way. I don't know. So, are you missing weekly comic books? Are you excited for them to come back? You ready to get back on that?
Yeah, I'm excited for them to come back. I'm a bunch of stories. I want to see what's going on. It's not like to the point where it's messing me up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with the break, man. I read a lot of books, and that's what I was going to ask you. Like, bro, when do you read your books on Tuesdays?
I get off work at 3 p.m. On average on Tuesdays at my job, my time. So 3 p.m. and I usually get home and I usually start reading about 4 p.m. and then I'm usually ready to make the video between 8 and 9. It just kind of depends on how many books there are, and then I film it, upload it, and there you go.
You see, I feel like I do the same, but I feel like you're reading like twice as many, if not 3 times as many books as I am. I usually get them around 3.
Sometimes.
I'll pick them up. Maybe I'll get home around 4. I start reading. But, I like to read maybe 1 or 2 issues, 3 issues, and I got to like take a breather. I can't just read nonstop. Bam, 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 bam. So usually I'll take Yeah, nonstop.
Yes,
Damn.
pretty much. Yeah.
How the hell your brain doesn't like get tired of that shit?
Nah, I love comics. I love them. Sometimes what will happen is I'll get like stressed with the idea that I got to get this video out as soon as possible. And I don't want to rush through the books. And then some days that happens because some days I don't get out till 4, you know, or even later, God forbid, or I got other things in real life to do, you know? And so then, but no, I literally, I'll just read it, put it down. And then I grab the next one and I just go.
That's crazy. So I don't really get too stressed because I tell myself, look, if I don't get to it, it's just coming out on Thursday. Fuck it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
I know, right.
and I try to, I'm big on the YouTube algorithm and trying to like find when's the best time to post stuff. New Comic Book Day reviews for me is a weird one. It's hard to gauge. Like any other video, I know my sweet spot's that morning crowd. Like first hour performance is really important. If you could do 2,000 views in the first hour, it's a good chance that video could go viral to like 50,000, 100,000 views, right? So at least that's what it seems like to me. But with New Comic Book Day reviews, it never really has a good first hour performance because I feel like a lot of people don't want to watch it until they've read it. Even though it's no spoilers, it's still kind of, sometimes we walk that line, sometimes we fuck up,
Yeah.
But
there are a lot of people I have heard that do that. They're like, well, I don't watch your videos until after I get my comics and then I watch your video.
Right.
And then there are people that are like, I want your video because I want to know what to pick up in the morning.
That's true as well. And that's why I won't stop doing them first thing Wednesday, because so many people say, yo, your review helps me decide what to pick up. So I don't mind it. It's a slow burn, but the New Comic Book Day reviews for me have been pretty good. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to keep doing it, even though it has its own kind of growth pattern. That's totally cool.
Yeah.
I don't watch your video until after I review mine because I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to say the same shit. And I like to see if we said the same thing, which a lot of times we do. And I'm always like, fucking Robbie probably thinks I copied his shit and then recorded it. But really, if the members on my channel know, I drop my shit as soon as I record it, which is usually Tuesday night, probably around 10 o'clock or so. Yeah. But then I just don't release it until the next day. But yeah, man.
Yeah, it's I like doing that too when I go in and be like, Jim thought the same thing I did. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel
smart because I respect your shit. Like your reviews are on point. Like you describe the story and the art so well. So when I feel like we hit on the same, I'm like, all right, I'm not a fucking idiot.
Well, thank you. But even then, bias gets in the way and all kinds of stuff. My recent journey has been in becoming a Spawn fan. And I know you saw me in the PCP Army posting up that I was reading Spawn, and you're like, Spawn's always been awesome. But I always kind of hated Spawn. I just kind of had it in my head. So whenever I read it, I would always just completely look at the stuff I didn't like. And now hey, Fee, what's up?
Hi.
Special appearance, everybody.
So with Spawn, say it again. I'm sorry.
Well, with Spawn, I used to just hate it when I was a kid. Like everybody liked it.
Wow.
I thought the story never went anywhere. Well, I was focusing, Jim, on the stuff that I didn't like, and everybody was a McFarlane fan, but I liked other artists. And I would look and I'd be like, well, you say Todd McFarlane's so great, but look at this. And they'd be like, oh, that doesn't look great. But then I would try to point out all the flaws. That used to be a big problem. I was kind of a snob back in the day, snobby Robbie.
Okay.
And I would always be like, well, this is wrong and this perspective is wrong. And then I started realizing, I was like, man, who cares?
Yeah.
These people are working under deadline. They're just doing this. They're just, all kind of, Jack Kirby's probably my favorite comic book artist, right? If you look at his artwork, there's so many shortcuts that he does, and that defines his style. And so I decided, because I like to do this thing to just see if I can just flip an idea, like something I hold true. I think it can make you grow bigger as a person. If, for instance, let's just say you hate ketchup. And then one day you just go, I'm going to like ketchup all of a sudden. And then you just do it. And if you can do that, that means you have control over, things that most people wouldn't be able to. And so one day I was like, I'm going to be a Spawn fan. And so I was like, I'm going to read Spawn as a fan, as if I absolutely love it. And I've absolutely enjoyed reading. I've read 40 issues so far. And I bought toys and shit, dude.
I always really like Spawn. And I hear people talk about the story as shit. Like there's another YouTuber who I respect his opinion a lot, Near Mint Condition, Omar. And he craps on the story. But I was like, yo, you have a heaven and hell story with this superhero, but like demonic shit. I was like, it has everything. It has
got it all.
good relationship stuff with Al and is it Wanda and Cyan and like I don't know, the heaven and hell aspect, even the issues that everybody hates, where I think it was Armageddon maybe, with Wanda has twins and one's the god and one's the devil. I'm like, yo, this shit is fucking dope, man. Like I don't understand.
Spoiler, Jim. Damn.
Oh, is it? My bad.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No,
this
you
shit
should.
is
Don't
30 years
back
old.
down. You tell him. Spoiler.
That
But,
story's probably like 15 years old, man. I'm cool.
It's more than that. But you know what it was? When I was a kid, I loved Spider-Man, Venom, Wolverine. I liked Superman because I was big into like Death of the Superman and Doomsday. But when I would go to the shop to buy one of those books, the Spawn covers would get me, and I was like, "Yo, that shit looks dope as fuck, man." I was like, "Yo, let me get the Spawn." And then I was like, my collector gene kicked in. I was like, "All right, I got issues 40 through 57. All right, now I got to try to get 1 through 39. I got to try to get 58 through whatever." You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, Spawn's a crazy one to try to collect now because you think it'd be easy to do it, but some of those runs from like the early 2000s that are like low print run. They're like a couple $100 for some of those.
Let me tell you something. I made some good money when I first got back into this game and started buying and selling. I would hunt rare Spawn issues and I would find them for like $2 and they would flip for like $60 on eBay. And this is like 2014 or so. Yeah. Like the guy with the top hat with the guns. Yo, one time we would go out of town and I would go to local comic shops anytime we were out of town. And this dude had a stack of like 6 of these shits. I was like, yo. I was like, what's that shit? Don't be suspicious. Like,
don't be
trying
suspicious.
to scoop all these Spawns. I'm buying other shit to make it look like I'm not trying to just get these. But that shit was fun. I had that whole run, bro. Single issues. I had 1 through 242 before I ended up selling it, and I bought a Hope 181 with that money.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's the better thing to have because, Spawn, you can just read, you get the deluxe trade or deluxe hardcovers now, don't you?
I have those, yeah. So that only collects the first 100 issues, though.
Oh, that sucks. They need to make more of those.
So I'm trying to campaign Todd McFarlane to make a box set. I want a box set. It could be like, I don't know if you've ever seen, I used to have Akira right there, but they have like the Infinity Gauntlet box set, Civil War, Secret Wars.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, those are standard size hardcovers. I was like, just give us 1 through 300, bro. Like 1 through 300 in a box set. And I think we'll be good because the problem is, he can't do omnibus, and those deluxe editions. The problem is, Volume 4 probably didn't sell very well, because how many people are buying Volume 4? You have to get people who have bought Volume 3, 2, 1, right? Yeah. So how well do you think a Volume 7 of that is going to sell? Probably
that's why you always see him. That's why you always see him fall off. You see it all the time. That's
why he's got to do a big one-shot thing. And look, and he could Kickstarter and everything. I've been emailing, man. I've been trying to get a hold of Todd McFarlane to try to get him on the show and try to get him to make statues. And
I've seen him on other people's shows recently.
He's been hitting all the toy channels. He's been hitting my boy Shartimus Prime. He hit the other what's his name? 8-Big Eric, I think. So he's been running the circuits, man.
Yeah, he was
Lee making it rain.
He was on Comic Pop the other day. Oh, Lee, holy crap. Okay, so now if they kickstart the Spawn box set, I got to throw $50 into it.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Thank you.
He just put 50 in the meter, yo.
Just feeding it.
Running for an hour. Right?
Well, this is what I was thinking. I was like, Todd McFarlane just kickstarted. It ends tomorrow, but that Spawn action figure.
They made $2 million, right?
You didn't get one?
No, I didn't get it.
Oh, you still got to? I got one. I got one.
Okay, good.
I'm not really digging the action figure shit, man. I don't know.
Yeah, you're more of the statue guy, right? So
if he makes statues, I'm in, bro. Come on, let's do it.
Oh man, he should. Yeah, I'm more the action figure guy. They're cheaper. I can get a lot of them. Stuff like that. The statues look amazing. That Batman Who Laughs that you reviewed, I was like, man, where can I fit that in here? Holy cow. Exactly. Of course, I still want to get one of those arcade machines that you have too.
Yeah, yo, they just had them for $50. Your Walmart might have that shit for $50.
Really?
Yes.
Which one?
You got to go to brickseed.com, search Arcade One Up, and put your zip code, and it'll tell you which Walmarts in your area have them at what kind of discount, because they were selling every one for $50 and the risers for like $9, which is crazy.
Why did we do that?
I wanted to go get Final Fight and you were giving me shit.
That's such a lie.
Final Fight would be so dope, man.
We had to go to Mesa. Remember?
I guarantee you, everyone would say feet. It was always
that's what I thought.
Whatever you want.
You don't remember? I said it was on the west side, and you were like, "No, I don't want to drive."
Oh yeah, I wasn't down to go for that drive.
Nah, you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
See, you got to drive for that $50 Final Fight.
That's a Final Fight would be a dope one. I used to go to this convenience store and play Final Fight. 2 or something like that.
I always loved it how it felt like Street Fighter, but it was a beat 'em up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Always fun, good stuff. But the Spawn Kickstarter, he's over 2 million now. He's like at 2.8 or something, right?
Man.
He raised 1 million in one day.
Yeah, I remember when it first jumped off.
During people not having jobs.
Yeah, but see, that's the misconception because a lot of people are crowdfunding right now, making millions, bro.
Yeah, they really are. People are throwing in, and they're bored. They're sitting at home. You know, they
man, a lot of comic book readers are like IT guys, work from home guys. Like people are still working that collect and buy comics.
I'm going.
All right, babe.
Bye, Robbie.
Yo, are you gonna go downstairs and come back up anytime soon?
No.
Try to get that water.
Yeah, you got to get some water. You don't have no water next to you?
I got one, a smart water somewhere, a fresh one.
You should put it on the rotator. Just have Thanos hold it. Yeah, that Akira box set's nice. You had I know you did the review of the Crisis. Do you still have the Crisis, or did you give that away or something?
No, that was actually, oddly enough, somebody else sent that to me just to review it, and then I mailed it to them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, look, very rare that happens. That's so crazy that you mentioned that, and it happens to be one. But like every other box set was mine: Secret Wars, Civil War, Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah, we got Herminia, who's in the chat right now. I see him. He's been reading that Infinity Gauntlet set, and I was like, man, that's sweet. But that Crisis one is something I'd really like because I'm a big DC guy. I pick up from you, Jim, that you're more of a Marvel zombie than you are a DC head.
So I think like the Marvel characters have always just been my favorite growing up, but like I don't discriminate DC. I own every DC omnibus. I'm not big on the DC weeklies because of when I jumped in, everything is in the freaking hundreds and stuff, you know. But I don't discriminate against DC. But if I were to name my favorite characters, it takes a while till you start to get to the DC guys.
Yeah, who is your favorite DC character?
I really like, I want to say like Doomsday, yo. Like Doomsday is definitely my favorite villain. I like Doomsday. I like Superman, Batman, Green Lantern. I guess like basic bitch kind of answers. I'm not like a lot of people be like Dr. Fate or like that type of shit. Like, no, I like the core members, I guess.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they're iconic. I mean, there's a reason why they've stood the test of time for so long, you know?
Yeah.
And Marvel's on their way hitting that too, you know, characters that are going to stand, you know, that's what's fascinating to me about these characters are that, because first of all, comic books are just an amazing way to tell a story.
Yeah.
But these characters at Marvel and DC, they're so iconic. They have literally kind of become like modern day mythology, you know?
It's definitely modern day Greek mythology for sure.
Yeah. You know, you got kids. Like I remember there's images you can find like in 1989 when the Batman movie came out and that Batman symbol was everywhere. Where did Jim go? Jim disappeared somewhere. But Batman just disappeared. Where did Jim go? There he is.
I clicked the wrong button.
No problem. I was like, damn, Jim just gone. He's like, I'm out of here. We're done. No, but like, you know, you like got kids in Africa that never read a comic in their life wearing Batman shirts, you know, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a really crazy icons that have lived. So when you were the comics you named and the characters you named, you're talking about the death of Superman. God, I was so into the death of Superman and the Carnage and Venom and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And that was right around the time where I was like really like starting to not just read my dad's comics or just pick up the comics here and there and read them, but like basically for like the first bit of I would read the same like 50 comics over and over and over because that's all I had. Right. And then that's when I started like exploring out and reading more and all that stuff. So like what's your comic book origin story? Like how'd you get into comics? What brought you in? What was your first comics? Like how did that happen, Jim?
So what brought me into comics, like I remember seeing comic book characters younger. I remember seeing Spider-Man. I think it must have been the 60s cartoon where he's just swinging and like the web's not even touching a building. It's just in the air. Yeah, right? I didn't really think anything of it. It wasn't until the trading cards came out, bro, because I'm 35. So the 1992 Marvel Masterpieces, when I saw those packs and how real Joe Jusko made these people look, larger than life, but realistic. So I guess I was 8 years old, right? Because I was born in 84. So 92, right? So quick math. Those trading cards did it. And on the back of those cards has their first cover appearance or their first appearance, depending on, I don't know why they would do, sometimes it wouldn't be the first appearance would be the first cover. So then I would be like, oh shit, I want the first appearance, or I want this comic book. So I would go to comic shops. Of course, I didn't realize that those were very expensive. And I ended up just saying fuck it and bought trade paperbacks. I bought Death of Superman. I bought Maximum Carnage. I bought Spawn, like the first 4 trade paperbacks. And I would read those back to back to back. And then I remember my mall had a comic shop in the middle of the mall. And it was kind of weird. Like, I guess that was destined to fail, right? So anyway, I set up a poll list. And I remember being like, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Spider-Man. But there must have been another one at the time. Amazing Spider-Man. I was like, and then X-Men, Uncanny X-Men, X-Force, Excalibur. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I don't even understand this shit. Luckily, I had the trade of Maximum Carnage because that's 14 issues that's going through all those titles, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't really get it. And then that's when I started picking up Spawn. And Spawn was super easy because it's 1 through whatever it was at the time. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had the trades and then I had the single issues like afterwards. And I was big into Spawn. And I was big into the action figures. Spawn action figures were my shit. I still like the trading cards, holograms, fucking chromium cards. Like, yo, that is my shit right there, yo.
Hell yeah. And do you still, I'm sure you still got that Marvel Masterpieces framed.
Yeah, I still have that one. Exactly. That's the set, man. And the set is it's crazy because you can buy that set. First of all, you could buy the tin sealed for like $50. You could buy that set, the whole set with the bonus cards for like $25. So it's like inexpensive, but it's the best looking set, especially as a whole cohesive piece by the same artist, man. I love that set.
I love that set so much too. Every so often I'll pull out my cards and I'll just be like, ah. And those have always been my favorites. Like I love some of the regular Marvel ones they did and the X-Men ones that
I love the Marvel Universe. I liked all the 4 volumes of that or whatever it was.
Yeah, I really like 4 where they're all like where each 9 cards make a big scene. You know,
with the like it was like a black type of, not the universe background because I was 3, but then 4 was all connecting ones exactly. And I like the DC ones. I like the DC with the gray borders that was kind of like comparable to the Marvel Universe Volume 1s and the
dude. You know the secret on those was if you bought a box of them, the top 4 packs had holograms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got one in a few years ago at my shop. And we checked it out. Yeah, I have some of my cards right next to me. There's Marvel Series 1 right there.
Yeah, I have that shit too. I have all those. I bought the tins because the tins were dope because it's sealed. It's a sealed stack.
Yeah.
And I did videos on them like when I first started the channel. But, you know, I bought a box one time. I bought the Spider-Man Eternal Evil. I think they were like Fleer 96. I bought the box for $50, put together the whole set. It had all the canvas cards. And that shit was just so fun, man.
Yeah, I love that. I used to go to the comic shops all the time when you would actually go there to get these kind of cards and they would have them lined up and you'd like go and I'm like, I remember one time
under the glass inside the plastic with the 4 screws in it. It was freaking a brick gold or something.
Yeah. And they would have the boxes of commons, you know, that were like 10 cents each or something. And I was always looking for a claw from Marvel Series 4, Marvel Universe 4. And I could never find a claw until I finally got it. Now, did the tins come with all the hologram covers and stuff?
Yeah, and the 92 Marvel Masterpiece, the tin is the only place where you can get the 5 lost cards. So there was 5 bonus cards, and then there was 5 lost cards, which looked like regular cards. They were just unused for the set, which were super dope. It was like Jubilee, Feral, Deathbird, Scarlet Witch. And who's the other one? I can't even tell from here. But you know what was really dope about that set? First of all, the packs were classy as hell. It was like black with this marble look. And then one time my friend showed me one of the inserts, one of the bonus cards. All the cards for that set are a single character, except the 5 bonus cards are a battle scene.
Yeah.
And they had the Wolverine versus Sabretooth, and it blew my fucking mind. For some reason, I was like, this is not even a card I've ever seen before. I didn't even know it existed. It's Wolverine and Sabretooth. It looks amazing. It's kind of shiny, like glittery looking.
Yeah.
Me and my friends thought it was worth like $1,000. We were like, oh my God. Like, I think 2 of my friends got into like a fight over it and shit. Like it was crazy.
Man. We split that pack, damn it.
Right?
Yeah, I kind of miss those days. You know, I'm kind of glad that it doesn't continue on. I like the nostalgia of it. Like they still do make cards.
Well, check this out though. So grading cards has kind of been coming back a little bit, even comic cards with PSA and Beckett. And now CGC just announced that they're going to start grading cards. I'm praying that there's a trading card renaissance here that I could get back in the game. I mean, I could buy whatever I want now, so maybe that's a bad idea, but I want cards to be a thing again. Like, I fucking love trading cards.
That would be cool. I like the cards that have, I mean, they got some cool stuff because they still do special cards and all that stuff. But nowadays, it's like they want like $8 a pack and shit like
and
that.
there's 3
like,
cards in it. And
yeah,
it's impossible to put a set because they have like one of ones in there and stuff. I don't like that.
Yeah, they got to get smarter on that, you know? And the comic cards was kind of just trailing on the whole baseball sports cards thing.
It was. And I forgot to mention that. I did have baseball cards first. I went from baseball cards to the Marvel cards. And then I was like, man, forget baseball cards. Like, and baseball cards would have like 500 cards in a set. It was like impossible to put that together.
Yeah, right? And then when you had it together, you're like, cool. Like, great.
But sports hologram cards were dope too, man.
Dude, and then they got into eventually because now they do like the piece of their uniform in a card and shit like that.
Oh yeah, I haven't been following sports cards, but I still see them in Walmart. I'm like, yo, they're still cranking them out over here.
Yeah, they're still cranking them out, and it's a very small market. We have people all the time call about it. So we have only one shop in town that still deals with it, and I think they're only open like at best 15 hours a week. So like, I don't know, but it seems like everybody's just after like those special cards or whatever. But dude, they're still out there. I know a dude that still gets an entire I don't remember if it's Topps or Fleer, but he gets a full set every year. And he's got a wall of binders that's just baseball cards. I used to do baseball cards, and I used to do the basketball cards, man. Yeah. Back in the day of Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson and Clyde Drexler.
And think about having those cards right now still. Like, those are the ones that are fire right now.
I know, right? And I just, who knows what happened to all that shit? I don't even know. Like, all that just went away somewhere in the wind, stuff you just lose like that. So, like nostalgia, I don't know if it traps you as much as it does me, because, you did an amazing video that I know Bueller talked about when you're on his channel, and I saw Bueller up in here too. So Bueller, shout out to Comics with Bueller.
Yeah, I should have said hi to him. He was in here earlier. I think he said, "I screw you guys." We didn't say anything to him.
Yeah, right. That's just part of serves him right.
My bad.
But you did that great video where you're talking about you got to like use your hobby to fuel your hobby,
right?
And I think that's a problem that a lot of people have. Like, I have a problem letting things go. Now, I
didn't realize that until I did that video, and how many people were like, "Yeah, I can never do that. Like, I can't sell anything." But nostalgia is a huge thing for me. But once I get it, and I lose the feeling, I'm cool with letting it go. I don't need to like own it forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
sometimes I let something go, and a few years later, I'm like, damn, I really want to get like a freaking Wolverine 1 CGC 9.8 again, like the Frank Miller. It's like I've owned it a couple times, and then I get sick of it. When I want to fund something, I'll just crowdfund myself, right? Like sell my shit and get something else. And
yeah, absolutely. A wise man told me a while ago. He was kind of one of my mentors. He told me, and when I first worked at a comic shop back in like the late 90s, he was pretty much my boss, and he eventually made me a partner, and that's kind of what led me into wanting to be a comic book retailer and just being a part of that aspect of the industry. And he always told me, he's like, anything you see or want or have, you will see again in this business. So you can always let it go, because if you want it again, and let's be honest, if all it really is that initial, because if I buy a toy I had, Jim, when I was like 8, I get it and I get all excited and I hold on to it, and then one day maybe I'll open it, or maybe I won't, and I get excited again, and then I'll sell it, right? But for the most part, it just sits over there, and who knows? Who cares, right? And then if you sell it, then maybe one day you can buy it again, you recapture it, because if all it is just that.
That's what I do. But what I find is that most of the time I don't ever have the urge to want it again.
Yeah, you get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Basically.
I mean, the collector bug is all about the hunt, so it's kind of like had it. I've been there, done that. That's on to the next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good way to think about it, man. And a lot of people, that was kind of like a public service announcement video that you did. I think a lot of people, including me, need to watch it again.
A lot of people liked it. I was kind of happy, because sometimes when you put out, a difference of opinion, it doesn't always go over so well. But a lot of people were like, yo, this was an eye opener. Like, a lot of people that don't have that mentality were like, damn, I should do that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I do have shit that I don't even look at. Like, I don't even care about it. And I never told anybody like that this is what you should do, but this is just what I do.
Yeah. And you did it in a very real way, and it came across because it was very authentic. Did that website you told me about earlier, was that Brigsby? Is that what you said?
No, brick seed.
Brick
like
seed.
like a red brick, and seed like a watermelon seed.
Hell yeah. Okay. Thank you. I'll check that out.
But at $50, you can't go wrong, man.
I know, kid. I told my girlfriend back like in December or whatever, and I was like, Jim Mint's got these arcade machines, and I think I could fit one in here. By the way, I can't fit one in here, but I'm like, I'm trying to. She's like, if you can fit it in there, go ahead. And I'm like,
Now we got to make it happen.
Yeah, and then I started thinking like, which one would I get? And I think it would be Street Fighter, because Street Fighter's my jam. Now I know you're more of a Mortal Kombat guy, right?
That's true, but I find myself playing the Street Fighter one more though.
Really?
Yeah.
What characters?
Ken.
Just
Ken, baby.
Ken, I always see. For some reason I hate Ken, right? But like I think he's better than Ryu because he's faster. Well, but I like playing Ryu.
As a kid, I liked. And I always called him Ryu too, but the internet will chew you up. But it's Ryu.
I change it every time I say it.
But I know now, with Ken, I like how his hurricane kicks. It hits you 3 times, where Ryu just hits you once and then you fall down. Yeah. So I like to do the combos with Ken and like chain things together and shit. I don't know. I just fuck around with Ken.
Yeah, Ken's a good one. I mean, I like how fast he is in some of those games.
Yeah.
I've always Blanca's probably my favorite. He's not the most, he's not the best character to use.
I used to like Blanca when I used to play coming up, man. I used to really like him.
Yeah, he's just hard to.
I don't like the charged characters, even like Guile and like Bison and Vega, Honda, Balrog. They're all charged characters. I hate holding that shit.
No kidding, right? Because everybody knows what you're doing because you're just walking backwards. Like
right, like you're gonna definitely do something. It's all about like jumping in the air and charging and hitting and combo and then boom, then letting it go. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I did this thing not too long ago where I was playing Super Street Fighter 2 and I wanted to beat it with every character again. And I had never really played Chun-Li, and like the cheesiest people I know would play her, and I would hate that character just because everybody would kick my ass. Yeah. I'd be like, I hate Chun-Li. Dude, when I actually learned how to play her like a couple months ago, holy cow, she's amazing with all that jumping shit.
Charged character too, though. But yeah, she can jump off the walls. She can stomp on your head and keep it moving.
Yeah, I really like her. And I like playing Bison too. I think when I was a kid, I liked those characters because those moves were easier to learn. You're like, you just hold back and release the button. That's all you do. Yeah. Mortal Kombat, I was always a good amateur, but if I played anybody with any level of skill, I would get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I'm above amateur, but if I play a pro, I'll get my ass kicked. But I can kick a casual's ass all day.
Yeah, right. Who's your characters on that? I used to love playing Reptile, and but my best character was always Liu Kang, which hated me because I always thought he was boring.
So on Mortal Kombat 2, I'm master of all, bro. Random select. Mortal Kombat 1, obviously, because that's super easy. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, if I play for a little bit, I can get good because I'll remember all the combos and even the characters that you wouldn't think, like Stryker or Nightwolf or Sindel or Badass, man.
Yeah.
So, I can random select on Mortal Kombat 3 as well.
Wow. That's good for you, buddy.
What has that gotten me in life thus far?
It's gotten you bragging rights tonight. Yeah. If anything, it led you up to here, right? What do you think about the Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat movies?
Mortal Kombat movie is still the best video game adaptation of all time.
Better than Double Dragon?
I don't even think I've seen Double Dragon movie, but I did like that game as a kid.
Yeah, the movie's terrible, but the game.
Street Fighter 2 movie was terrible, but I liked it. Well, I really didn't like it as a kid. I was like, what the hell is this shit, man? Kind of like Mario Brothers, right? And then Mortal Kombat Annihilation, I wanted to like it so bad. It's like, oh, they got Ermac and Rain, and like I wanted to like it, but it's like they fucked up so many things, man. And it was like such a cheesy movie, but I still will sometimes run back 1 then 2, and then just that's it. Like you got to do 1 and 2.
Yeah, I Mortal Kombat Annihilation has a great soundtrack. I mean, they both do. You know,
it's the same soundtrack.
Well, almost, right?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's where the Mortal Kombat Annihilation soundtracks where I first heard of Rammstein because they had Engel on there, which was a good one. Green Man is in the house and wants to know any love for Tekken, or did I miss it?
I can never get with Tekken, yo. And I liked Virtual Fighter. Virtual Fighter is my shit to this day. I like Virtual Fighter. But I feel like Tekken, I don't understand the love for Tekken. It feels so clunky. The juggle system is straight trash. Okay, this is my Tekken analogy. This is the guy standing up, right? You hit him and you keep juggling a flat plank of a person.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, you can like just kick him up again. Like
I hate the mechanics of Tekken, man. And then it's like they don't have projectiles, which some do, I guess. I don't know. It's weird. But I mean, Virtual Fighter doesn't either. But Virtual Fighter is like a classy 3D fighter to me, man.
Yeah, I like those. Do you remember Clay Fighter?
I do remember Clay Fighter. I hated it. I kind of liked Primal Rage, but it was super confusing to pull shit off.
Yeah.
I liked Killer Instinct and Killer Instinct 2, or it was Gold on 64. That was my shit.
Killer Instinct's good. I like that. And Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast is still one of my favorite fighting games.
I never really I played Soul Calibur like 5 on PS3, but it was too Tekken-y for me. Tekken was
it's very Tekken-y. You know, it's got the sidestep stuff. Like Tekken was never my favorite, but I think I didn't like Tekken because all my friends would always kick my ass, dude.
With Eddie. Everybody played Eddie and Tekken Tag.
Yeah, right. Tekken fucking Tag. We had that at the movie theater I used to work at. My buddy Finley, who is the cheese master, would just like, and he would, oh my God, he would run that machine all night long and be so obnoxious about it.
I hated Tekken. The names would be just so random. Dave, Law, Chad, Bruce. It's like,
right.
There's no like Street Fighter has dope names. Mortal Kombat has dope names, but like Tekken was just like bullshit. Like,
yeah, there's gonna be a new Tekken. It's gonna have Karen in it.
Yeah, like Karen, Dave, Chad, and Dan. Like what?
Yeah, no kidding, man. No shit. Did you ever play the Mortal Kombat? I mean, not the Mortal Kombat, but the Power Rangers fighting game. Did you ever play that?
Yeah, I've played it. I have an emulator that I'll play every couple of months, and I play like the fighting game or the Turtles Tournament Fighter or shit like that. Which they're never as good as Street Fighter.
Oh, never. Street Fighters. It's just I know a lot of like the professional like fighting gamers, like they love Street Fighter.
Yeah, exactly. Way over Mortal Kombat, like. But to me, I can't really get down with Street Fighter 5. 4 a little bit, but I don't know. It gets too technical, man. I don't know.
I like 4, but I've never played 5 because I haven't bought a gaming system since the Wii. So
I buy every gaming system, and then I hardly ever play them anymore.
Yeah, right.
Well, my kids play. I'm actually playing Final Fantasy VII Remake right now. I'm pretty into it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My girlfriend's a big Final Fantasy fan. So I had to get those on my emulator one time so she could play them, and then she never fucking played them. Exactly. I'm like, you're taking space off my SD card. Like,
I played 7 original at least like 3 times. I really love Final Fantasy 13. A lot of people don't like it and they give it shit, but I fucking love that game. The soundtrack, the graphics, the story. I think 13 was overall one of my favorite ones for sure. It was 7 and 13 easily. I can't really get down with the other ones, to be honest.
What system was 13 on?
PS3, and it looks like my daughter's playing it right now. It's real nostalgic for her. It looks like fucking it came out today. It's like 11 years old.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play too many games like that. I had a PS3 for a while, and I played that first Batman Arkham game or whatever.
That is dope. I fuck with all that. Oh, I only played the first 2.
Yeah, I played the first one. I really liked it. It was intuitive. You were beating the shit out of people. You know, you're Batman. You're swinging up in the rafters and swooping down on people and snatching them up. That was my favorite thing to do, was just snatching people up, dude.
Yeah,
that made me feel like Batman.
And I like the Spider. I like all the Spider-Man games. They're pretty. They're usually pretty good.
See, there's a piece of me that wants to get a PS4 because PlayStation's where you get MLB The Show, which is like the best baseball game out there. And I'm a huge baseball guy, and I love that game. I used to play it all the time on my PS3. And I hear that Spider-Man game's really good.
Yeah.
So you played it?
Yeah. I go for the platinum trophies. So I usually get the platinum, and then I'm done with it.
Damn, are you that dude that like when you played the Batman game, you like found and solved all the Riddler clues and shit?
You got to if it's part of that one of them trophies, man.
Hell yeah. I see some 64 love in the chat. Did you
yeah,
since you're born 84, I'm sure the 64 was a part of your
heavy
life.
On 64. Mario 64, I still play that shit on the emulator, knock out 120 stars real quick.
Dude, that's one of the best ones. You could no way. You got all 120?
Of course, every time.
I've never been able to do that. That's just that Rainbow Road shit's impossible, Jim.
When you get to Rainbow Road and those those last couple stages are a bitch to get the fucking 100 coins, man. But it's doable, man. I've done that shit. I played that game to 120 stars. I want to say, like, trying to be like realistic, like 5 times.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That fucking GoldenEye,
GoldenEye's
Killer
amazing.
Instinct Gold. Well,
Yeah.
64 was a dope system, man.
It was. I love Conker's Bad Fur Day, Wayne
know that.
Gretzky 3D hockey.
I used to be into mad hockey games, man.
What's your favorite hockey game?
I don't know if I can remember the name, man. I feel like it was on 64, the first hockey game for 64.
I don't remember. I used to play one called Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. I think that was still a little early, but you would only have like 3 people on a team.
Yeah, that might be it. I don't know.
Because it was like the rule. I'm that guy that like I love sports and I try to watch hockey, and we have a very popular hockey team here for some reason, even though we're Alabama. And we have a popular hockey team. It's the most popular local team. And I like watching it live. But, man, I don't know the rules. You know, sometimes I'm like, so the lines, it's kind of like basketball. And I'm like, no, not really.
I don't know
the
rules either.
Yeah, I don't know at all.
Not
so
either.
do you like sports at all, Jim? Because I thought I heard you say one time that you're not really a sports person.
No, I'm not. Like I used to like to play sports a lot. I liked physical sports. I like video games, sports games, but I never had the time to sit here and watch mad seasons. Like if I watched the game here or there, cool, but I'm not about to follow this shit for a whole season, then next season, then I don't have time for that, really.
Yeah, but you'll play Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's there you go. That's what I'm going to start saying to people when they're like, "How can you watch a baseball game?" I'm like, "How many hours did you spend on whatever video game?"
Yeah, nowhere near as watching every game of a season.
I don't watch every game.
Maybe 40 hours on Final Fantasy VII Remake, but how many hours? First of all, how long is a game? That shit's forever in a day, man.
Most games and most sports are 3 hours.
Fuck, man.
Yeah, like a baseball game, a good baseball game's like 3 hours, and they play 162 games a year. Not this year, obviously, but yeah, I don't know. I love baseball though because I can put baseball on and be reading comics, right? Yeah. And then like I don't have to pay attention because when something happens, I'll hear a crack of the bat and go.
So that's my thing. Sports has so many dull moments. Like I'm down to watch a highlight reel whenever. Like let's go. I'll be like, oh, but like. And there's nothing worse. Like I remember having Super Bowl parties, and like you get everyone's getting ready, and like the game's on, and then you're just kind of like everyone's just sitting there like, all right, do something good. And so you get so excited because you're like, yeah, something exciting's happening. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But
I understand that in a lot of games, but when you're like 100% committed to a team, you know, like it's a different experience.
But then, like, I always think about Seinfeld, right? And he's like, people love the team, but if the player, they love the player. But if the player leaves to another team, they hate him. And it's like different color shirt or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just so crazy to me. And you know what's crazy to me too? Like when we're kids, I can understand. You look up to these guys that are playing sports, but it's kind of weird when like now we're the same age as the people playing. It's like everyone knows somebody that was in high school that played, you know, something like that. It's kind of weird now. I don't know. It's different. It's like, how do you don't look up to them the same way as you did as a kid, right? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's not. It's weird when you catch yourself. Like there'll be a time where I'll be
like,
they're
younger than you or something.
Yeah, and you'll be like, oh, he's so great. He's such a great dude. I want to be like him. And then you find out he's 28, and you're like, shit.
That's crazy, right?
Like, damn, what have I done with my life?
It makes you think like this motherfucker's 28. I'm 35. Like what? Fuck this guy, man.
35. I'm about to be 39 on Sunday.
Damn, you look young, man. I thought you were younger than me.
No, I'm 30. Yeah, thank you. You know, I think
you, a compliment or not.
You think young, you are young. Is what I always think.
I mean, look at both of our backgrounds. Fucking not looking like no 35 and 39-year-old. Although I feel like more and more of us that grew up in this generation are on the same type of shit, you know?
Yeah, they call it arrested development.
Is that what that means? I don't even know.
Oh yeah, you know, I'm just joking, but yeah, like the idea that you never kind of evolved past being a kid.
But what's crazy about that is like financially, shit, you got me fucked up. You know
you seem like you got it together.
I got it together. So that's what I like about it. Though, like I got it together, but I can still be who I want to be. Yeah. And like I walk into like, man, I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it because I might come off some type of way. But it's like, man, I would love for someone to look down at me. It's like I'm doing better off than you. You know what I'm saying? Like.
Yeah,
I don't know, but you know, in hobbies and sports, man, like I don't know. What's cool about it to me is that you can like make money, make a living within something that you love to do, man. Like that's my ultimate goal was to like just do this shit full time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And why are you not doing that yet, Jim? I'm pretty sure you could probably do it.
I could probably do it, but then it would probably be harder for me to drop $1,000 on a statue.
Yeah.
You know, like right now, I'm doing that. It's all kind of funding itself, and I kind of have this thing going on over here that's taking care of the bills, right? And I could do this, but I don't know. I'm scared. I guess if I had to be honest, you know, I'm just scared.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I guess you know, I'll know when I'm ready. Type of thing is what I tell myself. You know.
Yeah, you never rush it. You know why? Why do that? You know,
I don't need to. Yeah, I mean, I'm fortunate that I have a a career that's very flexible. You know what I'm saying? And I'm able to kind of juggle both for the time being. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I know it's a dream for a lot of people to go full time, but there's a lot of BS attached to that.
Nah,
as well,
I see it. You know, I know. And then even now, man, I thought like with this quarantine, I thought, yo, YouTube's about to be popping, and I was on this big upswing right before, and it went crazy down, and I'm like, damn, I would have thought more people would be watching YouTube right now, you know.
That's good to hear you say that, because when I did a stream not too long ago and Bueller was on it, and when we were off air, I was like, Bueller, I got to ask you a question. I hope I'm not getting too personal or in your business, but has your shit dropped down since all this started? Because mine just went.
Yeah,
and I get that, like, my biggest show is the weekly comic book review.
Yeah,
and I understand that there's, you know, and I kept doing it. I was doing the digital shit. And now I'm glad to be having just a small amount of comics, you know, and we're weeks away from getting back into the swing of things.
Right.
So that's cool.
Yeah,
but I heard that from everybody.
It's not just us, man. I got friends with huge channels that are like, yo, I'm gonna have to get a job, bro. Like, shit is fucked up right now. And I think a lot of it has to do with the ad revenue. I think it's got to be that YouTube's ad revenue is down. I think people are spending less money on ads because people are less likely to buy things, and it's causing YouTube to be less likely to push your video, because to be successful in YouTube, you really got to understand the data and all the analytics, and not just the subs and the views. You got to look at impressions and click-through rate and CPM and audience retention and all that type of shit. And at the end of the day, if YouTube doesn't give you the impressions, you're never going to get the views. The impressions are literally them putting it in people's recommendations. Oh, you might like this. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like they lowered the impressions because we're doing the same content. You know what I'm saying? It's not like we totally changed what we're doing. If anything, I think the content's getting better, more polished, right?
Yeah.
But I'm noticing it's starting to come back a little bit. So I'm hoping, I don't want to say hoping. I mean, it's not the end of the world, you know what I'm saying? But it's fun to see crazy growth, right? But you know, it looks like it's coming back a little bit, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah, it seems like it's starting to tick back up as well for me, and that's really cool. Hey, thank you so much, Comics Misexplained. I appreciate that. Those super chats always help, of course. Help the PCP dream. You know, that's what we're doing.
PCP Army.
The PCP Army. And the Geminites out there.
Mm-hmm.
Healthy, strong batch of comic book nerds and statue nerds. And this is what the question I want to ask you is, so you were into comics back when you were younger.
Right.
And I assume you kind of fell out of it for a little bit.
With being a teenager and you know, the things that come with that. And I got back into it. I've been at my current job for 13 years, and it was the first stable job I ever had. Yo, before that, man, me and Fee had kids young. I worked graveyard shift at a gas station. I worked every telemarketing bullshit job you could think of, right? And she actually got me this job. She worked there, and she's slick because she got me the job, and then a couple years later, she retires, and I'm the only one working. So she was like, hey, you do what I'm doing, and I'm going to go chill. But no, that really worked out. But a couple years in, so I started that job in 2007. I want to say around 2010, 2011, I started like being more financially stable, and I found out about eBay. And the first thing I was like wanting to do was buy something that I couldn't buy in the store. I wanted to buy a PlayStation 1 with Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So I fucking bought that, and I was like, eBay's the greatest thing ever. All these things that I want to buy that they don't sell in stores, you can buy. So then I bought, like, Fee will tell you in the chat, every fucking Mortal Kombat collector's edition controller, all these old magazines that had Mortal Kombat stuff in there, and I was collecting Mortal Kombat heavy. Then I started buying action figures. Then I was like, oh shit, let's buy the 92 Marvel Masterpieces. Kind of like what we talked about, like the nostalgic thing that I wanted to buy back.
Yeah.
So then when I bought the Masterpieces, I was like, oh shit, the comics on the back that I used to want to hunt down as a kid, but I could never afford, I could afford one of these right now. So I bought an Amazing Spider-Man 300, a raw book at that time. It was like $100. It wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
So I would buy these keys and I would start collecting Spider-Man keys and X-Men keys. And then I found out about CGC. And I was like, you're telling me this $100 book, if it hits this grade, is worth $300? I was like, fuck it. So I started sending all my books to CGC. I had a lot of really big wins. I had some break evens, not really, maybe a couple losses, nothing near the break evens and the wins. So then I had this huge collection of CGC keys just from buying a book like every 2 weeks. Not even a lot. I mean, we were making like bullshit at that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I got the bright idea to sell all of my keys to buy one key. I wanted Amazing Fantasy 15. So I sold every single key I had. I bought the Amazing Fantasy 15. It was like $5,000 at the time, and I got it. And then I kind of did it again and got an X-Men 1 and did it again and got a Fantastic Four 1. And at the end of the day, I had like 5 big blue chip Marvel keys. And then I was looking on the shelf and I was like, man, I could really use like $20,000 right now or whatever the fuck that was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then I kind of around that time, I found out about Omnibus. I was buying these Silver Age Spider-Man keys and X-Men keys, and I saw the Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 Omnibus, maybe in my shop or something, and I was like, holy shit, this book collects the first 30 issues of fucking Amazing Spider-Man? Yo, I got to grab that. And then I found out about Infinity Gauntlet Omnibus, and then I got the Omnibus kick. So I think I ended up selling all the keys, buying a ton of Omnibus, and then started finding out about statues. And then that's kind of what led me to like where I'm at today.
Yeah. And you had a lot more statues that you got rid of at one point, right?
Same concept. I had a whole wall. I'm looking at a whole wall of X-Men right now. This shit used to be a full wall of Spider-Man and Spider-Man villains. And one day I just start looking at it like, man, that's like $50,000 right there. And keep in mind, that's a lot of money for me. I don't want to make it sound, I never came from money. I came from nothing. That's fee. But I'm able to like hustle to get things. And then after a year, you have a lot of things. And then I'm like, damn, I kind of want a new car. Like I never had a car that I wanted. I always just something I ended up with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was like, bam, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to sell all this shit. A lot of it appreciated in value, double, triple. And somebody gave me shit for this on Bueller's chat, right?
Oh man.
I raped the community by selling them an overpriced statue. But that's not true. I sold it at an eBay auction. It's fair market value. That's like saying, are you going to sell a Hulk 181 right now for last year's price?
No.
Or are you going to sell it for fair market value?
Yeah, that's something I get as a retailer, dude. People all the time like, oh, you just want to make money on this. I'm like, why are you trying to sell it?
Yeah, I do want to make money on it. Yeah, but it's not taking advantage. That's fair market value. If my statue wasn't worth that, then it wouldn't sell for that. So anyway, whatever. People like that will never understand the kind of like commerce like mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I sold all the statues. It was a little bit of a sigh of relief, man, because I'm like, damn, what if something happens? What if the shelf crashes down? What if, who knows? You know what I'm saying? I start getting paranoid thoughts. So I sold them all. I bought the first car that I ever wanted to actually buy, that I didn't just get stuck with some bullshit, you know?
Yeah.
And I got it. I had a lot of statues on pre-order. I knew new statues were going to come in, and I know the channel. Like, the channel's going to grow by continually reviewing new shit. So really, the channel is really right up my alley, because I don't like to hold on to stuff for too long, and it benefits me to kind of recycle and rotate. You know what I'm saying? So that's what happened. And right now, I'm like, I don't know if I'm back where I was with the Spider-Man collection. I don't think so, because I learned a lesson with that collection. I don't want to have like crazy expensive pieces. I don't want to have $2,500 pieces. Like, once you get to like 1,000, that's kind of where I'm like kind of checking out. Like, that's enough. I don't need to have this be worth $3,000. Like, whatever this cost, I don't even know how much this piece is. Probably like $1,200 or whatever. But anyway, I don't want to have crazy value. I'm cool with a bunch of $500 pieces, $600-$700 pieces. You know,
man. That's just yeah. Absolutely. And, you know, I'm more of the action figure guy, and I think it's crazy when an action figure is worth 100.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about. That's really interesting that the omnibuses, or the keys got you into omnibuses that got you into statues.
Well, I don't know that the omnibus got me into statues. You know what got me really into statues is kind of two things. The NECA Ninja Turtles quarter scale, which are only $100 each, were amazing. I bought them. I bought the Donatello when it came out, when the other ones weren't even near coming out. And I was like, I finally understood why people collected statues. I was like, yo, the size of this and the detail is incredible. Because I remember seeing like the Galactus maquette at my shop with like an $800 price tag and being like, how can somebody spend $800? That's crazy. Like that, nobody buys this shit. This is all bullshit. The store buys it with the money they have and it just sits there, right? Whatever.
That's what happens in my shop.
But then I still had a Hulk 181, and then the Wolverine versus Hulk maquette came out, and I was like, yo, I gotta have this statue. It pairs so well with this key, man, with this book. And I remember it was $650, and I was so nervous. I was like, yo, I can't believe I've spent at this time $5,000 on the AF-15, but to spend $650 on the statue, I think I was nervous because I was spending my own money. The $5,000 on the AF-15 was PayPal money. That shit wasn't real. It was just sales. You know what I'm saying? But I put it on my credit card, $650, and I never charged a piece. Like I never paid for something I didn't have the money for, but I put it on my credit card knowing I would just pay it right off. Yeah. But I was so nervous. But like after like it shipped and I paid the credit card off and like it came in, I was like, okay, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it again. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I didn't, and I don't want to make it. I didn't juggle the credit thing. You can't pay cash online. You know what I'm saying? You got to use something.
Yeah.
But I was super nervous for the $650 piece, and it was a really great piece, and it got me hooked on statues.
I really like your X-Men sets that you're building right now.
Yeah.
That most recent Colossus, is that the one that you have? Is that yours?
Yeah. All the X-Men ones are mine. I'm collecting the Sideshow's whole line of the current stuff, and I threw in a couple of their older pieces that still kind of go with the other ones, like Apocalypse and the X-Force Deadpool. Yeah. So I think it looks really good together, man. Yeah.
That's super cool.
It's
I like them.
3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Like 16 pieces.
And you display them nice, too. You got them on their shelves. You got the lighting and...
Got you, man. That's part of it.
You got the best look. I love those shelves and those omnibuses with the lights behind them. It just pops, Jim. Your channel automatically. You could probably just be showing collectors plates, or something like that, and it would look beautiful because of your room up there is absolutely fantastic.
What's funny is like I had LEDs on the top, and then Blake Kenny, he's one of the Geminites in the Facebook group. He put them behind each row, and I was like, yo, that shit looks so nice. I got to do it. So, I just get ideas from other people, and it looks good on camera, but that's Fee. It's so fucked up the way I got it done. Like, we have to, like, really take all this out, do it right, and like I said, do it the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. They look amazing, though. And all those omnibuses. So what percentage do you think you've read of those?
It's a small percentage, man. It's probably like 30%. Like I read a lot of them. Like I have hundreds of reviews, but yeah, I feel like I buy more than I read. Although lately I haven't been buying as many. There's been like a drought of new books kind of. But then I get caught up reading, new comic books, and I don't know. Sometimes I sell ones that I read that aren't Marvel or DC. Like I read Transmetropolitan, 3 Absolutes, and I was like, you know what? I'll probably never read this again. I sold them. So then that fucks up the percentage too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't even think about that. The ones you read that you got rid of.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I like how Fee has been going into the golden age, which is something that a lot of us don't like doing because they're very dated. They're it's gangway all over the place, exactly. All kinds of craziness like that. So I love her dedication to doing that. Those are, to me, it's a trip to read those old things, but I cannot power through them like you can.
There's just so many other things that I would rather read. That's the problem for me.
Yeah.
And she's cool with it. She's kind of like, look, I don't want to read Brubaker's cap and not know really what the fuck has been going on for the prior 70 years or whatever. So she's like, I got to start at the beginning, man. Like,
she's like, I want to read Ed Brubaker's cap because I hear it's so good. So let me read 70 years of Captain America books.
Well, see, luckily she doesn't really understand that there's more issues than what there are omnibus. So
I got you. So she can just read the omnibus. She's like, I got the whole story.
You're gonna skip decades and not even know it. But
yeah,
anyway.
you're pretty. I mean, and you can kind of do that. You know, you just got to hit the highlights.
Like, they're only going to highlight. That's what the omnibuses are. They're not going to print like everything 1 through 1,000 just because. That's why shit doesn't work, you know.
Yeah, and that's why. I mean, people think they will, and then they get mad when they don't, and that's why. That's why, like I know a lot of people are into the epic collections, right? The soft covers, and I love them too, but I still just do not trust that they're going to actually finish that.
Right.
You know, and like that sucks when they don't finish something, or they do it in a. Don't you hate it when have they ever like collected an omnibus where like it would almost be complete, but maybe there's a couple missing issues in between, things like that? Like if they done that with the X-Men or anything like that?
The X-Men was a holdout for Volume 4, but they announced it. A lot of people want reprints, man, of shit that's out of print, like X-Men Volume 1 and 2 by Stan Lee, which is a complete run, right? 60 issues or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there anything that they haven't? I think everything is kind of like. Yeah, there's stuff that never got a Volume 2, like Ultimate Spider-Man, you know, got a Volume 1 omnibus, and there's material for I think maybe 4 more that there hasn't been a Volume 2 in sight. So yeah, there are some like that.
Yeah, and Zach was asking, are there Spawn omnibuses? And apparently up to 100.
Yeah, they're really in the form of absolute editions that collect 25 issues each, and they're all crazy out of print and expensive. I think people ask $1,000 for Volume 1.
Holy cow. Yeah,
I always tell people, they always ask me, I say, you're better off hunting down single issues for Spawn. You're more likely able to track down issues 1 through 100 than the 4 deluxe editions, which only collect 100 issues.
Oh, for sure. The first 100 issues are relatively easy to find. I mean, the first 50 are like very easy to find, you know?
And I think me and Thee might do it just to fuck around, like, and have something to hunt when we go to shops, you know?
That's not a bad idea. And, you know, when you were talking way earlier about how you used to go and find these key issues of Spawn that were like spiking online.
Yeah.
And they'd be like $2 at the shop. I remember at my shops, like, I remember one day going, man, we sold a lot of Spawn this week. What's up with that? And then looking online and being like, damn it, what the hell's going on with Spawn?
Yeah, I used to do that too. And I don't know how you feel as a shop. I know you said you were partners in the shop, no?
Not at the current shop.
Oh, okay.
At one I used to work at. Now I'm the store manager is what I am.
But I always looked at it like the shop should know what their inventory is. If you you had it for $2 last week, you didn't care. So I don't want to hear you crying now. Like if the shop was the type of shop to check eBay with everything I brought up to them, like I'm out, man. That defeats the whole fun of this shit, you know?
Oh, absolutely. We we don't pay that much attention. We have people that do because we have a whole online department, right? And they're the ones that they see this stuff spike online, and then because we have a whole warehouse, and then we have stuff that's actually in the store on the floor. And if someone comes and they buy a $2 book that's worth like 10, 15, 20, who knows, 50, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, the price that we have it set for is the price we have it set for, and all of our prices are based on what we paid for it.
Yeah.
So if we can ever up those prices and sell it, that's always obviously a benefit, right?
Right.
But if someone gets us, man, good job on you.
Yeah. I agree. That's how it should be, man. Like when I was into that buying and selling, I would go to shops and hunt like X-Force 2s and X-Force like 11s, and they would just be in the back issues, bro, and good condition. Like I remember finding a whole like freaking long box that had like mad sets of Infinity Gauntlet and around like the Avengers one time. That shit was hot, man. You could buy them shits and then just sell them online. And again, like people want to say, "Yo, dirty flipper," but I'm like, "Yo, that's supply and demand, brother." Like,
yeah, no,
I'm out here putting that shit back into the hobby. See, that's the other thing. Like, I'm putting it back into comics one way or the other, except for when I bought the truck. But fuck y'all, I had to do what I had to do. But
one thing I learned as a retailer, and I'm picking up on this, is that basically, if you make money on something, like it's a problem to some people, but to them, if they did it, it's fine, you know. Yeah. And I'm like, whatever. Like I get how some speculators can be a little sleazy.
So when you're sleazy about it, like I hear stories from my shop, like this guy calls up and asks me to hold all these books that he's specking on. It's like, no. Do the legwork. Go there, be there early, get it. Like if you hustle, I love it. But if you're like a fucking piece of shit, like, hell, I want you to tuck this variant for me. Like, nah, man.
Yeah, or the sly dude that comes in and has a stack of a few comics, and underneath is like 20 copies of one thing, and I'm like, I'm sorry, homie.
That's what I did with the Spawn book.
See, that's different.
But at least I did the legwork, man. Like, I don't agree with that because dude did the legwork and he was up on that inventory more than the shop was, right? So the shop can choose to be on top of what's hot or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're in the mix. So you're going to know, oh, so-and-so's opted for a movie. This issue is going to spike. We probably have some, maybe we should put it on the wall. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how shop owners should be.
That's how we do it. You know, we'll put it on the wall and then people are like, why is that book worth 15? And then for the most part, like if there's a $15 book and someone's like, I just want to read it. Like if it's one of our customers, we'll sell it to them at cover. You know, whatever we don't care. We make more money when people get addicted to the hobby and they keep coming back and spending more.
That's the best mentality. I always look at that, man. I'd rather give someone a deal and have them for life than rip them off once. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly. And I know that there are shops and there are vendors that do that. You know, if you go to any con, you'll see it all over the place. People that are just, it's way overpriced and stuff, and people can be like, well, how wrong of them? And I'm like, but you don't have to buy it.
Yeah, true.
Like literally, there, like you said, there's eBay, there's Craigslist. You can get amazing deals just on Craigslist. There are people that get like stuck with collections all the time. Say a loved one died or something like that, or they find these comic books and they don't know what they are, you know? And so you can hunt that stuff down and find out. David is one of our customers. He says, Robbie's always stealing my lunch money. And it is true. He told me like one day, he's like, I can't get a chocolate milk at lunch today because you sold me on 3 more comics in your video. And I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, super fun stuff. You're not really a big variant guy or anything like that, are you?
Not really. I don't even really collect single issues anymore. Like, I mean, I have the stuff I read, but see, in my mind, I'm always like, yo, when the set's complete, I'm just gonna give it away. Like in a
what are you gonna do Saturday on Comic Gories?
Shit, you know what was funny? I jumped on Instagram to I keep telling Matt to send me the latest episode so I can kind of study how it goes. Yeah. And that's when I saw your shit, like, yo, where you at? I'm backstage. But I'm playing y'all with, I think I'm gonna play y'all with Omnibus.
Okay.
I'm gonna win this shit, but with omnibus covers.
Well, if you can use omnibuses, can I use trade paperbacks?
Why not? I don't see why not.
We'll have to ask Matt the official rules. In case nobody knows out there, on Boy Who Had 7, their YouTube channel, Matt's having me, Jim, Comic Tom, and Bueller, I think, for Comic Gories on Saturday. And I watched a couple of the episodes last night. And dude, first of all, except for Fantastic Four books, none of my shit's in order. And so I was watching this and I was like, I don't know how in the hell I'm going to do this show, dude. I was like, I'm just going to grab.
But isn't it just like, yo, what's the best skull cover or something like that, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I'll be like, cool, I'll find a Punisher cover.
Oh, but you don't know where to look.
Where the hell are my Punisher covers? I have no idea. And then they apparently sometimes they do a CGC category. And I'm like,
see, I can't do that.
I can't do that. But then they have passes or something. It's going to be fun. And I realized that I'm pretty sure, I don't know what Tom's comic book collection, like his actual collection, looks like, but I know Bueller has got all this shit, and it's all based on audience votes, right? So anybody watching right now, get on there and vote for me or Jim, straight up, because Bueller has got his little spin chair and he's got his like marble Bronze Age right there. He's got his keys. He's going to be playing on that. Whatever.
I have but it goes off covers though. I think the rule should be no flipping through the book, right? That would be kind of cheating.
Oh no, yeah, they just show the covers from what I see. And so like I saw one where it was like feats of strength. So everybody had these covers with people lifting like weights and shit. And I'm like, what? And all these dudes have like golden age books. And I'm like, I don't have that.
Feats of strength. I mean, I guess I could have pulled a Superman omnibus or a Hulk or something.
But you got to find that specific cover.
Yeah, be like feats of strength. There you go. Boom.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
See, this is what I'm saying though. Like people probably, like, you got to sell it, right? Because it's apparently there's a level of shit talking.
Oh no, that's helps me in my category then.
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do is to shit talk Bueller. So I'm looking forward to it. Right. I really am.
Fee,
I think we should gang up on him.
We got to watch one of these episodes so that we know, because Fee's got to do it with me, man.
Yeah, y'all are doing a couple gories or whatever.
I think so. Oh, I don't know. Is that what it is or no?
Well, this one is comic gories, and then they do a couple gories where they have like couples do it.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. You have 30 seconds to find your book.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the hell? This is Matt's got such a brilliant idea because it's so fun to watch. They actually, it's like the personalities involved. It's pretty fun. And,
I'm gonna move everything out of here, like my lights, the tripod I'm gonna have to have, but I need space to maneuver. You know what I'm saying? I gotta
yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, I gotta move this light over here. I gotta get to it. I've been thinking, I was like, all my Fantastic Four books are in order. Maybe I should just put my Fantastic Fours next to me and just do all Fantastic Four.
I kill him with FF.
Yeah, whatever. Surely I can find something. Rainbow cover.
Right.
Like that's one apparently that they do. But I do have a Care Bears #1. I just got to find it.
Do I have a rainbow cover? Shit, I don't even know.
Well, if you probably got the Silver Age Batman omnibus that's got the rainbow Batman in it, you just got to figure out which one it is.
Nah, I don't think not on the cover though.
Yeah, not on the cover. Yeah.
I'll just have to get like the most colorful cover I have or something.
The Infinity Gauntlet. Just pull that out.
Right?
You could sell that, right?
The mighty Thor might have the rainbow bridge on it or some shit.
Yeah, you're right. That would be a good one. That would be good. Someone was asking when it is. Comic Gories, I think, is going to be
Saturday.
It's Saturday. I think it's 4:30 Central. I think he said 2:30 Pacific, didn't he?
I don't even. Yeah, something like that.
It's something like that. It's Comics Mist Explained says it's Saturday at 5:30
Eastern, right?
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. But yeah, I wish he would like just give us a heads up, be like, here are the categories, by the way. I don't want you to look bad. Because these dudes, man, when you watch their show, they'll find these books in like 15 seconds.
Hey, we're rookies to this game, man.
Yeah, no shit. He calls it the Big Dogs edition, but it's going to be like the Scrub edition.
Right.
It's got to be a Bueller in it, right? I know you're a big TMNT fan.
Yeah.
What started that love? The animated series?
For sure. That cartoon, that fucking song. Like, come on, man. Like, what sucks about it is the art in the intro is so dope. And I think it stays that way for maybe the first episode, maybe the first 3 episodes. But then they get super lazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah. I caught the bug, man. That's like one of the first cartoons I remember watching as a kid.
Oh man, I remember that like 7:30 in the morning or something before school. I'd like have to watch it.
Yeah, but then it's like Transformers was hard to catch. It came on at like 5:30 in the morning for me, and I was like, damn, I want to get up early to try to catch this Transformers.
Oh man, I remember that Iron Man and Fantastic Four cartoon came on in the mid-90s. It came on like 5:30 in the morning, and on Sunday, and I'm like, no 13-year-old wants to wake up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, I don't think I ever watched that cartoon.
Okay, so Comics Mist Explains says you guys want a secret tip. Have a good back cover ready.
Good back cover.
Oh, because he said he threw in 2 suggestions for categories. Back cover.
See, I don't know if any of my shits have back. Well, yeah, some of them do have wraparound covers and shit like that.
What do you mean? Wait, did you mean like a cover of somebody's back? Because like Lobo's back, for instance, #1 or something?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. See, I don't know what I have for that. This is going to be I don't know I don't think Matt knows what he's in for.
I'm not feeling as confident anymore.
Yeah, me neither. But I don't care. Who knows, right? It's really putting a fire under my ass to get more of my shit in order, though, which is cool. So
mine's in alphabetical. I'll know it, but I have to remember the covers. I'm standing up this whole time. Like I can't. I got to be on my feet.
Yeah, right. I can make it to my. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna put a bunch of Fantastic Four and Power Ranger books around me, and then hope for the best. If I get a rainbow category, I'll just pull out a Power Rangers cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Look at this holofoil shiny Power Ranger cover, right?
Look how many colors are in it?
Look at all the colors of the rainbow. All right, I got a few pop-off questions here I wanted to ask you. Just me personally. I already know your favorite video game movie. That's Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
So who's your favorite Disney villain?
Disney villain.
Yeah.
These
are typical PCP questions.
Yeah.
So if you were ever on a podcast, you'd be asked these kind of questions.
So there's 2 characters that come to my mind at one time. And I don't know if they're my favorite, but they're the ones that just come to my mind. I think I'm going to go Scar from Lion King.
Oh, that's a great choice, man.
Yeah. That's the other one I was thinking was Hades from Hercules.
Okay.
But he's not as evil as Scar. Scar's a real scumbag.
Great. And Jeremy Irons does such a great job with that character too.
Yeah, very Shakespearean with the dramatic, right?
Yeah, it is. It's Hamlet basically.
Yeah, exactly.
What's your favorite sports movie?
Favorite sports movie? Damn. So a lot of baseball movies are coming to mind. You know what? As a kid, my favorite sports movie was fucking Rookie of the Year.
Oh man, I loved me some Rookie of the Year, man.
But I also like Angels in the Outfield.
Yeah,
and I really
Tony Danza.
I loved Major League 1 and 2.
Yes, Major League 1 and 2 is really good, man. That reminds me, I have to do a baseball movies poll in PCP Army. I told everybody I was going to do that Sunday night, and I didn't. So
my dad loved Bad News Bears, but I could never get into it. That was like before my time.
It's a fun one. Did you ever watch the remake with Billy Bob Thornton?
Nah,
that one's pretty good too. I like that one.
Sandlot. Yeah, you're right.
The Sandlot. The Sandlot is basically my childhood.
Yeah,
but
me
90s.
too. Yo, I might not look like it, but me and my friends, that was us. We played fucking sports every day. We either played baseball, or we would pop on the rollerblades. We would play hockey in the street, or we would play football. We would try to play based on what season was playing right then and there.
Oh, that's dope. See, I tried playing street hockey and it didn't end well, man.
It was mostly like skating to where we were going to play, then setting up, then hitting the little ball around, and then just skating home. It was never like a full-fledged game. I don't think we ever got a score.
It was really popular back in the day too because of Mighty Ducks and all that shit.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite MCU film?
Avengers, first one.
Well, that's a great choice.
So I go back and forth between Iron Man and Avengers.
They're both great.
Yeah. Avengers was bigger for me because it was the first time, and we lived through it one movie at a time. Not like Perry, who just watched them all like yesterday. But
and getting thousands of subscribers out of it.
To have these movies tease each other at the end and then fucking come together with 4 franchises in one, it was amazing. Or was it 4 or 5? 4. Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America.
And Hulk, yeah.
I said Hulk first one.
Yeah, Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, Captain America. Yeah, you're right. And for those of us that were in the know, we knew what was coming, and you're just like so ready for it.
And then they tease Thanos, and you're like, holy shit, this is going to be amazing. And then they started doing the Stones. It was like, yo, 90s shit.
What are you looking forward to next in the MCU?
Man, I guess X-Men and Fantastic Four, man. I think they could do them right. I'm not excited for Phase 4. I'm sorry to say. I mean, I'm interested to see how Multiverse of Madness gives us the X-Men. Or, I don't care about the Black Widow movie. Eternals, I'm kind of cool. Maybe they show a little bit of Birth of Galactus or something. Or Celestials. So I'm into that. I don't care about the core Eternals. I mean, I read the Stan Lee omnibus, I think, last year, and I don't care about whoever the hell, Cleopatra or whatever those people are called. Cersei,
Cersei, yeah.
And what was the guy's name? They were super boring, man.
Icarus or whatever.
Yeah, it was all like Mercury. It was all like they were kind of named the Greek gods, and they kind of made it seem like the Greeks just got their names messed up or something like that.
It was basically Kirby doing new gods at Marvel, in a way.
Yeah, so I'm not interested in that. I mean, what's the other Phase 4? I mean, Doctor Strange should be okay, but if the problem, don't care.
Well, do you like kung fu movies?
No, not really. I mean, I love Enter the Dragon is my shit. I love Rumble in the Bronx. I love those type of, I guess, kung fu movies, you can call them.
If they really embrace that genre, I think that this could be something cool.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to happen, man. I don't think Shang-Chi is going to be a household name.
I don't think so either. But I didn't think Rocket Raccoon would be either.
Everybody says that, but fucking Rocket Raccoon is lovable as fuck, man. Shang-Chi is not lovable. Shang-Chi doesn't have that Groot, that Rocket factor. They don't have the Chris Pratt factor. He seems super boring and uninteresting.
We have to see what they do, because if you look at the slate of the movies that have been announced, it's like, and I know that a lot of us had reservations for Guardians of the Galaxy before it happened, but of course James Gunn turned that into something really special, right?
But reservations, I mean, I first heard about it when I saw the trailer, and the trailer was dope. The music was fire. The trailer looked good. So I wasn't that into the know with the rumor mill. So I don't know what the rumor mill was like prior to the trailer coming out, if there even was one.
Yeah, it was just the idea that maybe these characters catch on like Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor. I
never would have thought they would, though. I would have been wrong on that, but I think a lot of people would have. But that doesn't mean that Shang-Chi is going to be a household name, that Eternals are going to be a household name. I think Black Widow, okay, maybe it's a cool spy movie. Maybe it has Winter Soldier vibes, but I'm more about that build-up thing, man. I want that end game. I want Secret Wars. Like, I want to see that build-up,
That's why I think they really got to reveal something big in Black Widow.
I think the Phase 4 is going to all be set up movies to the big thing that's going to keep us interested until the Phase 5, which is weird that we have a filler phase, essentially, I think Black Panther 2 could be really dope if they do Namor and Atlantis versus Wakanda. Like, that could be really dope, and that could tie into mutants as well. It could tie into Fantastic Four as well. So there's promise there. Don't get me wrong, and I know what people say, trust in Feige, and I do, but I'm a little bit nervous, man.
Yeah, I want to see what they build up to, because it seems like you just start building up to Galactus. Start building up to that, but like, when they were doing these movies, the deal wasn't finished yet with Fox.
Right.
So what are their plans? But now they have time.
But even you say that, and I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, and I can tell Spider-Man was an afterthought in Civil War, and I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the rushed origin. And when I think about MCU movies, I don't even think about the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. They don't even play a factor to me. Like, I don't know.
See, I really like Homecoming. I think Homecoming's really good.
Nah, I mean, Michael Keaton was dope. Vulture was dope. So was Mysterio. But I don't like Tom Holland or the Spider-Man scenes. Or the
Really? You don't like Tom Holland, huh? Mm-mm. Who's your favorite Spider-Man then?
Toby.
Toby's good. Mm-hmm. I like Toby, but Holland's playing a little bit more of a. Yeah, Toby played like 60s Peter, And I like that. I hate Andrew Garfield.
Oh, yeah, Toby. I feel like Toby, 60s maybe. Yeah, I can see that.
Well, he's playing a modern for its era Peter Parker, but like a 60s kind of vibe to it.
He's very wholesome, Yeah, I agree. I think
he's going to be drinking like milk after school or something like that. Milk and a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. Warm milk before bed. But the MCU Spider-Man, like the supporting cast, I think is very weak. I think that the choices for Aunt May, for MJ, I think like it doesn't feel like the characters I'm familiar with. Like Toby's cast and supporting cast all felt like the characters that I was familiar with. You know what I'm saying?
I never liked was it Kirsten Dunst?
Kirsten Dunst. I can see that. I mean, there was probably a better Mary Jane out there for sure. I can agree with you on that, but she still felt like Mary Jane. And, I mean, MJ and Mary Jane in the MCU, he never even went to high school with her like that, right? Wasn't he, I can't remember if he did or not. I know it was Aunt May's friend's daughter, and they kept teasing like.
Yeah, she went to a different school.
I think it was a different school, right? And
she went to a different school.
When he went to college, he was with Gwen Stacy, so he wasn't really with Mary Jane like that,
Yeah, she was with. Gwen was with Peter, and Mary Jane was with Harry for a while. And I always liked that kind of dynamic, and because Spider-Man Blue does that. I don't know if you ever read Spider-Man Blue.
So does Life Story.
Yeah, Life Story handles that too. Oh, dude, by the way, Chip Zdarsky, great interview.
Thank you.
And the Humberto Ramos one was great as well.
Can I drop one that I think I might have locked down?
If you want to, please do.
It should happen. It might not, but it's not like 100% confirmed. But I might have Colin Bunn.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, my picture's in the back of a Colin Bunn comic book.
Oh, yeah? There you go.
Yeah, Unearth #2. There's a picture of me in the back.
So what's cool is because he does a lot of Valiant stuff, but he does a lot of Marvel stuff too. And I think we could fill a 45-minute convo. Yeah,
he had work on X-Men. He had a great Uncanny X-Men run. That was the one with Psylocke and Magneto was part of that team. That was in Sabretooth.
I got to do my homework because what's on my mind is the stuff that I'm like currently reading from him. I think isn't he doing like Scream stuff and Symbiote. I gotta double check, but I'm pretty sure
he did some stuff. I know because he had a run on Venom, and then he did some stuff during Absolute Carnage. I think
he did exactly. He was doing some of the tie-ins.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of Deadpool work, a bunch of those Deadpool miniseries. He does Dark Ark, which is a fantastic book that I love. It's about Noah's Ark and that story. But what if Satan had his own ark and they were saving 2 of every monster? And so that's what Dark Ark is. So he's really big into horror. Didn't he do that book at Boom that just took off because Boom made that Netflix deal? What is it? Bone Parish. Didn't he do that one?
He did Bone Parish. That's right. Yeah. So he's messing around with a few publishers, man. He's doing his thing.
Yeah, he was at Heroes Con when I went there last year, but I never got a chance to make it to his booth. And but I kept seeing him out of the corner of my eye when I was running around, because you know how it is at big cons, man. It's a madhouse.
I don't know. Comics Miss Explain was doing interviews. You know what's funny about Matt Fraction? I found out from Chip Zdarsky that that's not his real name either. Matt Fraction.
No, his real, I don't know what his real name is, but Matt Fraction is the name he used on the Warren Ellis message board, like back in the early days.
That's what Chip Zdarsky said his was too.
Oh, really? Yeah, because I used to be a part of that message board.
I don't know, but he told that story on the interview with the Warren Ellis message board thing.
Yeah, and that was Matt Fraction's screen name, and that's also where he met Kelly Sue DeConnick.
That's what they said. A bunch of them met there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I didn't know Chip was a part of that. That's cool. That makes sense though, because him and Matt are like tight. I met Matt last year at Heroes Con, and he let me see the artwork from the first 3 issues of the Jimmy Olsen comic. You know, the one I'm always telling you, like, I promise you, I know what it sounds like when I say Jimmy Olsen's good.
Yeah.
I know what that sounds like. But he showed me like the first 3 issues of that, and he like had it, and I had kind of had an up and down opinion of Matt Fraction. I really liked him at first, and then it just came to a point where it seemed like he quit everything he was doing to go do sex criminals like 2 issues a year or something like that.
That's what he's doing with Chip. That's where Chip is the artist and Fraction's writing that.
Yeah.
The only thing I think I've read of Matt Fraction was I think his Hawkeye run. I read the Omnibus, and I think I read something else of his.
He did a Fantastic Four run. He did an Iron Fist run. Did you ever read that one?
No, I read was it Brubaker's Iron Fist?
Yeah, Brubaker and Fraction kind of were back to back on that.
Oh yeah, so yeah, if he's a part of that Omnibus, then I read that, and
yeah, he might be in that
Fantastic Four one. I do have his Omni for that, but I haven't read that yet.
Yeah, his Fantastic Four works okay.
That's why I haven't jumped into it. People always say that. They always say, it's not really that good.
Yeah, it's okay. If you want to read some good Fantastic Four, you got to read the Hickman stuff. Have you ever read that stuff yet?
Yeah, that's my shit, man.
Yeah, that Hickman Fantastic Four is dope, man.
I read a lot of Hickman, man. Well, I mean, I read a lot of his Omnis that I have, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers. I'm reading all the Dawn of X stuff.
Yeah, I know you still liking all the X stuff, right?
Yeah, I am.
I am too.
It's not every issue is fired. There's some issues that I don't really care for, but I think overall I'm interested in the universe that they're building and has now expanded. So
yeah, I think Hickman is doing a great job with that one. I'm really excited for that stuff to start coming back. I think we're getting Marauders like the first week that Marvel's back on the 27th.
Is that official?
Yeah, Marvel is back on the 27th.
So does that mean comic shops are open as of the 27th?
It doesn't mean that every comic shop will be open.
That's what I'm saying. So some are going to be curbside or something?
Yeah. Some my shop right now, we're still doing curbside, but we're still getting the DC books that are coming in. And people are coming in. People that are feeding for them are coming up and doing curbside.
So am I going to be missing out? Because I saw there was an issue that came out of like a DC Black Label book that I'm reading, and I'm like, oh shit, I think it was Daphne Byrne or whatever.
Yeah, Daphne Byrne came out. Plus did you read the Joker Harley one? That came out this week.
So where the hell am I supposed to be getting these books from?
Well, what's your shop doing right now? Are they open?
I gotta hit him up and see what's the deal. I mean, I figured he would have hit me up though, because he usually we're pretty on point with like, yo. Because he hooks me up and shit on the Tuesdays. So
what happened was that Diamond shut down, right? Mm-hmm. And then DC said, "Well, we're going to find other distributors." So they found 2 other distributors, which happened to be Midtown Comics and DCBS.
Yeah.
And DCBS is they're the ones that do in stock, right? I think they're part of in stock.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was reading a comment. I was reading a comment about Walmart, because then I was going to ask you, what's this whole Walmart comic book thing that's going down?
I heard that they're going to be spotlighting more comic books at Walmart.
Well, they have little standees, little red like standees or some shit.
Yeah, is it all just DC, or I need to check out more on that?
Yo, I used to go to Walden Books in the mall and grab comics off the spinner rack.
Yeah, I remember those. And my first bought comic books out of the grocery store and the convenience stores. You know? And that's
one of my first comic books ever was I was in New Jersey. And my grandmother lived in this building that had like a little corner store on the first floor. Like it was in the building. Yeah. And I bought this. It was a TMNT Archie book, but it was Mutanimals.
I remember that. Yeah.
Mutanimals, like issue like 7. I think I still have that. I think I might have gave it away because I'm, even though it was like my first comic book ever, I still might have. I might have it. I don't know. I got to look.
You got to get a nice turtle section out, man. Just like have all the turtle stuff. I see the two above your head. Do you have the other two, or have they made them yet?
They're not out yet. Yeah, the Mikey is on pre-order. That's supposed to come out in July, and then they haven't shown Leo yet because they told me the plan was to do other characters before they do Leo, and that when they do Leo, that means that the line is done. Yeah. So I'm hoping to get animated series Shredder, Bebop and Rocksteady, Slash. If they did Slash, that's like my favorite Turtles character.
Slash is like one of the best ones, man.
So when they did Toka and Razor, I was kind of pissed, but I really like Toka though. He's really dope.
Yeah, I like both of them. But if you're doing a Razor, you might as well do a Slash.
Yeah, no, Slash. No, which one? Razor is the wolf. Toka is the one that looks like Slash.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. I got that mixed up.
But Slash, yeah, with like the black bandana, he's gangster, man. I like Slash.
I love Secret of the Ooze, man. It took me 20 years, I think, but I finally got a Super Shredder action figure. So I was very happy when I got that.
Yeah, at one point I had like the original, like what do they call them? 4-back Turtles. They weren't in the best condition, but I did have them. But then I was looking at like getting graded ones and shit, like when they grade the whole pack and everything, you know?
Yeah.
But then I never got into it.
Yeah, turtle figures are great. I still want to get some of the original ones, or at least versions, because there's so many different ones they've done, you know? And of the same figures. But that original line, those were some of my favorite toys when I was a kid, dude, with the Turtles and Rocksteady and Bebop. And,
of course, man.
Yeah, the Splinter and the Shredder. And I always wanted that big-ass Krang that you could put the little Krang head in.
Yeah, the body. Yeah, because I had the Technodrome in the sewers, but I never had the Krang body.
That would have been amazing. We had the little version of it at the shop not too long ago, but it was like $80 or something, man. So I did not buy it. We had this big, this dude bring in this collection of Superpowers action figures from the 80s today, but we weren't able to work it out. But man, I wanted those so bad. Because those are the ones I love from the 80s, like the DC figures and the Marvel Secret Wars and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I love the hell out of those.
Yeah, the Marvel Secret Wars were dope. I always liked the Spider-Man animated series action figures.
Yes, me too. In fact, I got one right here.
Oh, Kingpin.
Got my Kingpin.
So somebody was tagging me. They had like a new one coming out.
Yeah, that's a new Kingpin, and Marvel's done this thing where they were the Marvel Legends, and they're doing like classic styles with a classic looking card.
Yeah.
So it's got that classic Spider-Man animated series card.
Yeah.
Because that was a great toy line. Oh my goodness. I got a few things from that. I finally got the Tri-Spider Slayer a few months ago.
Nice.
I always wanted that damn thing. And the Carnage figures are amazing, and the Venom figures, those were, I love those figures because that was the first time we were getting into Venom. There weren't Venom figures from the 80s. There was the ones in the 90s.
Yeah.
And it was really cool to have.
They had like the stealth clear Venom. Remember that? That shit was dope as fuck.
I've got that. I got the clear Venom. And because I love Venom. Venom's one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, me
Venom,
too.
I love anything symbiotes. That's why I'm just loving all this stuff. In fact, when Marvel comes back on the 27th, Venom 25 is one of those first titles because it's only 6 books for the first week. And then the next week is going to be nothing but trade paperbacks and hardcovers and omnibuses. And then the next week's going to be nothing but comics. And then it's going to be trades again the next week, and they're going to alternate like that for a while. So the new comic book days will start back at the end of the month in a little bit more of a full effect type way. But it's going to be very small weeks for probably the rest of the summer, if I had to guess.
Okay.
And all the DC books right now, like for instance, if your shop didn't decide to go with Midtown or DCBS,
right,
then they're going to get their stuff all on one day that's been out to this point on May 20th from Diamond.
Okay. Yeah, I have to see what's up.
Yeah, just check and see. No. Comics Mist Explain wants to know if I have any Street Sharks. I wish, homie. Brooks has the Street Sharks. He showed some off last week on our Johnny Dangerously movie review. And it was awesome. So I'll see if I can get him to bring him up tomorrow night from the Army of Darkness movie review that we're doing with Dylan from Dylan's Comics. And before we go, Jim, and I do appreciate you being here. I know I got to eat, and I'm pretty sure you got to too. But Bruce had Robbie or Jim get the Batman by Bendis hardcover that came out. Are you talking about the Batman universe? I have read that stuff, and it's really good, but I haven't gotten the hardcover collection of it yet. Did you get that, Jim?
No, I mean, it If it's just like a regular hardcover, I usually don't have my eye on it unless it's something I really want, like the House of X, Powers of 10, or something like that.
Yeah, you like them deluxe edition, big size.
Yeah, usually it's got to be like an omnibus or an absolute or something like that.
Hell yeah. And earlier, though, Bruce had asked a question, and he wanted to know what you were looking forward to when comics start again. What are you most looking forward to reading?
New Warriors. No, I'm joking.
Dude, I am excited to read that.
Hold on, you were really into it. Now, when the whole thing blew up, were you like, oh, shit?
Well, I think that the whole, what is it, Safe Space and Snowflake?
Yeah.
I think that's pretty dumb. I think that's kind of like, I don't know. I don't know Daniel Kibblesmith personally. I know that Jason has interviewed him. But it just seems like some older guy trying to figure out what he thinks the youth thinks is hip.
What's
you know
funny,
what I'm saying?
That's what my daughter says. She was like, they need a real Zoomer to write this shit.
Yeah,
but
right.
You know what's funny? I remember seeing the ads for that before that video came out, being like, oh shit, New Warriors is back, fucking Night Thrasher and shit. Let's do it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm a Night Thrasher fan. Night Thrasher is my jam. So if Night Thrasher's in it, I'll read it. I think Safe Space, and I think it's silly.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not going to like hate it automatically because of it, because I honestly think that a 40-year-old in 1990, when he heard about this black kid named Night Thrasher that was going to fight crime on a skateboard, probably thought that sounded ridiculous too.
Yeah,
and I just look at
those characters like I'm never gonna be like, yo, man, Snowflake is my favorite character. I need a Snowflake statue. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, and it's not gonna last. I've been through so many New Warriors reboots and relaunches; it never lasts.
I like where Bruce Johannes' head is at. I do want to finish FF and X-Men 4. I do want to continue reading Venom. Really, I want to continue reading Thor. I think that Thor run is fucking dope as hell.
Yeah, we're not getting that next Thor issue till the end of June.
Damn. So I do want that. I'm down with the Dawn of X stuff. On the DC side, I'm always looking for some good jumping on points. The Black Label shit like that Harley Joker. What is that? Criminal Sanity or something? Or
yeah, issue 4 that's out right now. It's good.
I gotta read that shit. I like that. I really like.
Hey, if your shop's not open, you need it. I got copies.
Oh, that's
you just let me know.
I really like the Jeff Lemire Joker smile. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I like superhero books, man. I know I try a lot of indies, but I mean, I just like superhero books, you know?
Superheroes are great, man.
I am reading all the Hill House shit, you know?
Yeah, Daphne Byrne issue 4 is pretty good. I'm excited because Basket Full of Heads is about to come back, and Dollhouse Family, and those books have been really solid, man.
Dollhouse Family got crazy on the last issue, too.
Oh, my goodness, it did. What do you think of the Lolo Woods? Where are you standing on that book right now?
I'm just going to keep reading it. I don't know what the hell's going on in Lolo Woods.
I'm right there with you, man.
I don't know, but it seems interesting enough, right? It's got enough level of foolishness to keep me going.
Yeah, it gets wild, man.
I heard people say Spider-Man got good. I don't believe them. I'm not reading that.
The last issue was really good, but it has nothing to do with Spider-Man.
Is it because of Kindred?
It's because of it's some random monster character they did named Gore. He's like an old Spider-Man character, but they like did a spotlight on him, and it was very cute. Like if you like pets, do you have any pets, Jim?
Man, we had a little dog, but we had to put her down like last year.
Oh, I hate to hear that. That sucks.
Yeah. And then we don't want one because like if we have to travel to a con, it's like what do we do with the dog? And then it's like, are you gonna pee on the carpet because we got to train you? So it's kind of like a pain in the ass. It's worth it, but it's like
Yeah, we got one dog and 2 cats, and one of my cats likes to chew on comic book boxes, and so that's always he just loves cardboard. He just wants to eat cardboard.
And I got the statue. See, our little dog, she was grown. She knew her place. She would never fuck with anything. It's hard to replace her because she was so good, you know?
Yeah, no kidding. You can't just go from Snowflake 1 to Snowflake 2 like The Simpsons.
Or Safe Space. No, let's play.
Or Safe Space. It does. It just seems super stupid. But and I'm just like, who at Marvel thought that was a good idea? Like, did they not think that, like, after everything that happened years ago when stuff, everybody started accusing them of being SJWs and this and that, like, what did they think was gonna be the response on this book?
So that's where I really I don't ever pledge allegiance to one person's cause or the other because I always like to lead my own ship, you know?
Yeah.
But I think the Comicsgate guys have it right when they're saying you need to listen to your customers. I think the biggest downfall of the mainstream comics industry is that they feel like they don't have to listen to the people that are buying their shit, you know?
Yeah.
And also they don't check their creators who wild out on Twitter. I'm like, if I did that representing my job I work for today, it would be a problem. I don't know why, because they're artists, that there's this past that you can like blatantly disrespect potential customers, right?
I don't know why any professional would have a Twitter or any kind of social media account where they like engage in political discourse at this day and age.
So I'm surprised to hear you say that. You know, no, I'm glad to hear you say that, because I know that you're a big fan of comics, and I think my love for comics lets me overlook a lot of bullshit. But I'm gonna say this: I never voted a day in my life. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't vote for anyone. But for Dan Slott to say, if you voted for Trump, fuck you. If I employed Dan Slott, I would have a problem with that. Like, that's potential customers. You can't tell customers. What if 50% of the comic book customers voted for Trump, and now Dan Slott said, fuck you? Like, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, because I know people on Facebook that, and I know their political leaning, or on Twitter or something, and they're totally cool, you know? And like, I know my political leaning, and I see a lot of stuff that, there's a piece of me that wants to like somehow like prove that person wrong. But then I don't know, like my life got so much easier when I stopped worrying about that.
Yeah.
And realized you can't change anybody's mind.
I don't give a shit about it. I don't know enough about it. And it's, from what I've seen, the people that are in it don't know enough about it. You know what I mean? So it's like, but what's crazy is that people get so passionate about it, especially it seems like comic book creators get so passionate about politics. And it's like, that has nothing to do with comics. Like, you shouldn't really be, I don't know. It's hard to say, but
it's a weird thing, because there's the idea of, well, they're an individual, they can say whatever they want to on their social. Yeah, that's why I'm like, nobody should run then you should have a private personal account for you and your friends and family,
right?
And then have a professional business account.
It's funny how much trouble that gets people into, and it's like, what did you gain from that? Did you prove a point? I don't think any one of those online political arguments ended with the other person saying, oh my God, you're right. What have I been doing with my life? It's like,
no kidding. My buddy Jelani, who does a lot of videos with me, refuses to have a Twitter, because he's like, I've already been banned from Facebook so many damn times. I'm not even messing with
Twitter. Because they argue with other people. And
I'll lose my job. He does that on purpose.
Yeah.
He'll do it on purpose, man. He told me about this. He'll like, I'll go to groups that are made up to be against what I feel about the world, and I'll start shit with them just to.
I don't have energy for that. I like a lot of the people in the comments are pretty much on the same thing, and politics divides us as a country. I feel like that they definitely divide fans, you know, because I think if anything, what that's shown, that there's a lot of right leaning fans that buy books, right? Look at the downvotes on that New Warriors video. That's crazy.
Yeah, but a lot of that too is just people that are like, I don't know, because there's an element of people that are like real about it. Then there's an element of people that are just like trying to be like edgelords or like trolly and shit like that. And it just seems silly.
Yeah, see, I'm not with that. I'm not with hating things just to join the bandwagon or whatever. Like, you know, that's where, exactly. So anyway, enough of that.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Like, that's when I'm on social media, that's not the place for politics. In fact, to be honest with you, the only people I discuss politics with are like my absolute closest friends and my lady. Like, that's it. And that's even barely, because let's be honest, the way I think is they're doing their shit and they don't care about me.
Not at all.
Right? Not at all. And me getting mad about what's going on politically or in the government or in the world, it's actually not going to, like, me getting pissy about it's not going to change anything.
And you're a real conspiracy theorist, right? Or is that real, or is that just a joke?
I like to study conspiracy theories, and there are many conspiracy theories that I'm very much into, but 95% of them are bullshit.
All right, but hold on. Tell me this: in politics, these people that are in these positions, are they the best qualified people that we have in the country to be in these positions? It doesn't seem like it.
Hell no. And we all know that. So why do we put so much energy into, like, you know, like, okay, I don't want to get into politics. I'm just going to say this though. Biden and Trump. What the fuck? Like y'all, come on.
Like, look, if you support one or the other, I don't care. Like, vote for your team. It's kind of like sports. But you can't tell me there aren't more qualified people.
Exactly. I thought this when it was Bush and Gore, man, and it just seems like it keeps getting worse and worse and worse.
That's the type of shit that makes me think it's all bullshit. That's why I don't vote. And I don't know if people get mad at people that don't vote or not, but
some people do.
But who am I going to vote for? This guy or this guy? I'm looking at them both like, what?
Yeah, and then people will be like, well, if you don't vote for this guy, then that's just a vote for this guy. I'm like, or, you know, I just don't have to vote for anybody if I don't want to. It's my decision, but whatever. Not that it matters anyway.
No.
I live in Alabama. That's a red state. I can abstain from voting. It doesn't matter. You know, red's going to take that one.
And that's another dumb thing. It's all clicky, right? It's like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Who cares? And like we were talking about with sports, where I was like, it's only entertaining if you invest personally into your team. That's what people that are into politics like this do, you know?
Yeah.
So they pick a team, and like it really doesn't matter.
Said, to answer my question, no. I guess they're not. They're
good old Bueller. All right, we are about to peace out right here. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Harrison Ford was the best president ever. Get off my plane.
Yeah.
And we just put the shades on, Jason. You should check that out.
Can we talk about how The Simpsons not only predicted the coronavirus, but also the killer wasp in the same episode?
Dude, how spooky is that shit?
And I love that episode. How's it go? The dreaded Osaka flu. There was some other fucking line from there. The placebos. Maybe there's some placebos in this truck. And it's killer bees.
It's killer bees. I tell you what, man. If there is an Illuminati, they're the writers of The Simpsons. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. Jim, thank you so much for being here, man. This was a pleasure. Super fun.
Yeah, of course, man. I was looking forward to it all day.
Oh, man, me too. I really do appreciate it. I'm sure the PCP Army appreciates it. We really do appreciate you for being here and joining us. We'll check out your comments. I'll check them out later on and see what's up. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Jim, why don't you tell everybody real quick about what you got coming up?
I've been going heavy with statue reviews, man. I think I did 3 in the last 3 days. I do a video every day. It's always comic related. I usually do statue unboxings like this, or I do omnibus. I like to read collected editions and do reviews. I also do new comic book day reviews like Robbie, but haven't been doing them since the quarantine. I guess I'll probably start again around May 27th when everything starts to get a little bit more normalized. But yeah, daily content. A new video every day at 11 a.m. Eastern. And yeah, that's it.
Heck yeah. And if you're the one person watching right now who's actually somebody's mother who's just watching behind their shoulder, who's never heard of Jim Mint, there's a link down below in the description. There's a link in the featured channels page here at Pop Culture Philosophers for Jim Mint Collectibles. Fantastic channel. I cannot wait, Jim, until you get back into the weekly reviews and we can kind of get back to going with that. I'm very excited.
Yeah, for real.
So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here. Hit the thumbs up button. Please do like, share, and subscribe. And join us over at popculturephilosophers.com for podcasts and a whole lot more. I've been Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Peace out. Keep it fresh and minty. And Jimmy.
Minty fresh, baby.